7 The Buzz. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, it is a Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. So anything and everything in the sports weekend that you want to react to, we're going to react to. So you can call or text in at 501-661-1037. Get after us in the Asher Record Live fan feedback after me on Twitter at BuzzJohnNeighbors. And not only are we going to get to all the reactions from the sports weekend, but we're also going to talk about so many things coming up with tomorrow's golf tournament. The Buzz Golf Tournament is tomorrow. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun with that. And broadcasting live there from Burns Park. Really beautiful course out there in North Little Rock. With the weather being as nice as it is, it's going to be awesome. Also going to have Chris Gordy joining us in the 2 o'clock hour. So talk to him a little bit about the entire sports weekend, not only for NFL, but college and probably some Major League Baseball too. So we'll get into that with him. But, here we are once again, deja vu. It's what it is. But Arkansas losing again, this time to the Ole Miss Rebels on the road by a final score of 27-20. And now the Razorbacks are sitting there halfway point of the season, which really sucks when you think about that we're halfway through the college football season officially. But now Arkansas is sitting at 2-4, and luckily they get a nice little break because Alabama's coming to town. So that they go to Alabama, I should say. But just another frustrating, annoying, ridiculous, unexplainable at times performance by the Razorbacks where, Joe, I know we talked a little bit about it last week, but if you would have told me that Arkansas was going to hold Ole Miss to 27 points and, Judkins, their best running back, one of their best players, was only going to have total rushing yards, at least at 65 yards, that Jackson Dart was only going to throw for 153 yards. If you would have told me that, I was like, wow, okay, I feel like Arkansas can win that game. But the problem is that it wasn't the defense. It was the offense once again having their struggles and couldn't find a way to win.
That has been the issue so far this season, and it does show that there are different ways to go about games, and this one was something that played out a little different than we thought, but the result is kind of what we thought going into the game where Ole Miss did come away with a win.
Yeah, last week when we did our picks, I think all of us but maybe Chris went with Ole Miss. And I felt like, hey, listen, knowing how Ole Miss is coming off that big win and how their offense works and just how potent it can be, I was like, it could be a shootout. It could be a game to where maybe Arkansas keeps it close, but in the end, I felt like Ole Miss was going to pull away, and that's exactly what happened. But the problem was, Joe, is like, Ole Miss's defense statistically was one of the worst in the SEC. And I felt like if you can't get the offense going against the Rebels, or at least have any sort of consistency against the Rebels, then it just ain't in the cards. And Arkansas's first drive looked great. Went out there and went down the field. A guy named Ty Washington, which apparently is a guy that exists on the team and actually plays really well.
He's done good things in the past.
Yeah.
So don't know why coming into this season it was different for him to not have some kind of opportunities on the field. Luke Has is really good, but you have other good players that are there. It's not like a quarterback situation where you're playing one at a time. You can play multiple tight ends.
Yes, you can. They do allow that in the rules, that you can play multiple tight ends. And I'm with you. He had a phenomenal game and helped Arkansas at least get both of their touchdowns in this matchup, as he finished with 7 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. So great performance at him. But that first drive looked better. There were still, some times where you got in 3rd and long situations and maybe the blocking wasn't great. But I thought that maybe, just maybe, okay, this is what it's going to be. This is where the game's going to go. Arkansas's offense looked to be a little bit better. But in the classic Razorback fashion, it's get your hopes up, and then they just snatch it, because after that point, Arkansas, after the opening drive for a touchdown, their drives went interception, punt, 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 field goal, touchdown, punt, interception. And it was just a frustrating thing to where you average 1.2 yards a carry. 1.2 yards a carry in this game. So the offense is just broken, Joe. I feel like that's the best way to put it. The offense is broken. The defense played well. They did a great job of keeping Ole Miss in check. Again, they held a team that was scoring 45 points a game to only 27 points at home. Defense did their job completely, but the offense is the one that really, really failed in all capacities. And it's a broken offense. I don't think there's any other way to put it. There's a lot of maybe some explanations behind it, but with the offensive line not blocking, KJ doesn't look comfortable. The plays take too long to develop. You can't establish the rushing attack. Just all the problems for the offense. This is what's costing you games right now.
Cam Little is the one person that's coming through as far as from a scoring standpoint. And they do have their issues with even moving the ball to begin with, but when they get in scoring position, it's always field goals. That's what we're seeing quite a bit, more so than scoring the touchdowns and giving you the big points.
And you can't do that against any team in the SEC as often as Arkansas is doing. But you're right, Cam Little. What is that? 3 field goals of 50-plus yards now in 2 games? I mean, and none of them being at home. Listen, you can even say, oh, well, the game in Arlington, it's in a dome, easier conditions. I don't care. He still hit it. And then this game, just absolutely boots it and looks really good doing it. So, yeah, Cam Little is the one that you're looking at as like, hey, between him and Ty Washington, they're really the only redeeming qualities of the offense right now. But you got the offensive line not being able to open up holes. And it was just so frustrating, too, Joe, seeing they switched the offensive line going into the game, saying, all right, well, we're going to put Kudus at center, and we're going to do this and put Latham at that. And then they switch back at halftime, and it looks better, I guess. I mean, not exactly much different, but that's the type of stuff where I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Like, I get you're trying to do different things, but it comes across, whether rightfully or wrongfully, it just comes across as almost like an ineptitude where you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea how to fix it. So you're just throwing things against the wall, seeing if it works.
That's what it is. They're lost at this point. So because this isn't typical where you get this deep into the season and you're still tinkering with the offensive line. It may be a starter backup type situation, but not where you're moving players all around the offensive line. This is something that's totally out of the norm. So it's not a surprise that when it wasn't working, they went back to what it was before. But to be this deep into the season, it's a problem. It's a big time problem.
Yep. And it's just not even pleasant to watch. Like I felt bad for the defense. They kept him in the game, but it's just not an offense that has any sort of redeeming qualities right now. And I don't think I have ever seen a complete and total 180 of a team with the offense and the defense from last year to this year for Arkansas. Like, I'm not saying the defense is elite, but the defense is really good. I mean, they've been the only reason you've been in most of these games and being kept in these games is because of the defense. And they were abysmal last year. And offense was pretty good. I mean, they averaged, I think it was at 36 points a game last year, close to 500 yards of offense per game. And then now you just flip-flopped them where the defense is actually what's keeping you in the games. And it's the offense that's keeping you from winning these games. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it where it goes from that big of a flip just in 1 year with the offense having a lot of the key pieces back from the previous season.
Not only are they struggling in certain areas, but then turn over the ball, and that complicates it even more. So when you have those turnovers, now you're taken away from the offense, and the defense is put in a certain position where they have to go out and try to keep the other team from scoring points. And it's just a bad combination of things that are going on.
Yeah, you can't continue to rely on your defense to get stops when the offense is not helping out at all. It's not putting the defense in good positions at all. But I don't know if it's a confidence thing. But I just look at that offense, and because of whatever reason, it doesn't look good. But they still look like they're comfortable. They just don't look comfortable. They don't look comfortable. They don't look confident. It looks like KJ is not being KJ. Rocket Sanders showed some frustrations, I know, when they're trying to get lined up and trying to figure things out. And he's got to be frustrated. The offensive line, of course, is lacking many things. So I don't know if this is something that can even be redeemed at this point. I kept thinking maybe, just maybe, against an Ole Miss defense that isn't very good, you could find some confidence, find some wiggle room. But since you got Bama coming up next on the road, it doesn't exactly mean that you're going to be able to have any of that confidence built up at this point.
Yeah, Bama is Bama anyway. So going into that game, you always have certain thoughts of, is this going to be the year that Arkansas can finally get over the hump with them? They have competed against them before where they made it a close game, but I think most people going into the season, when they see that one on the schedule, it's already circled as an L.
Yeah. In fact, if anybody legitimately thinks that Arkansas is going, or at least is going to pick Arkansas to win this game, I'd like to know. I'd like to know why and where your head's at if that's the case. Because I think Arkansas, at least according to Bet Saracen, opened up as a 19.5-point underdog. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's where it should be.
Yep. Because Alabama had a nice win against A&M on the road, a tough win. I know that their offense isn't perfect, but they're still finding ways to get dubs. And At this point in time, their only loss has been to Texas earlier, which I know we'll talk about some of the game, especially the one with Texas and Oklahoma.
Good games over the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great games, great matchups, and just a lot of fun involved. But, yeah, Arkansas's got to, they're in a point now where 2-4 through 6 games. You got to go 4-2 the rest of the way to even get bowl eligible. I can't find them. I'm going to be searching, but I can't find 4 wins on this schedule the rest of the way. Not after what we're seeing. I just don't know where it would happen. Not to say that Arkansas will lose, but
worse than that if we're counting the Bama result and saying that that's going to be a loss. But let's say that they do lose the game to Bama, then you're talking about having to win 4 of the last 5 to be bowl eligible.
Yeah, not seeing it because you got Mississippi State at home and you got Auburn at home. You got Florida on the road, and Mississippi State or Missouri going at the end of the season has thrown FIU in there. Yeah, just because of
and if you
still
throw
tough.
FIU out, just say 3 of the last 4.
Yeah, still
they would have to win to become bowl eligible.
Still, yeah. I mean, am I picking Arkansas right now against any of those SEC teams right now? I'm not.
Oh, there's some people that are saying they're not picking them against FIU.
Oh, I mean, and who knows at this point in time? There's no guarantees, as we know, with what the season's been
holding. That's
holding.
looking way far ahead, though.
Yeah, we got to still, get ready for Bama. It's Bama week, right? This is when they can bounce back, but probably not. But still, we're going to talk about it and continue to talk about it here on a Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. So we want to hear from you. Why is the Arkansas offense broken? Can this be fixed? And how do you feel about the Sam Pittman experiment moving forward? Just let us know by calling or texting in at 501-661-1037. We'll get to more Out of Bounds coming up next, so stay with us.
Razorback legend Quinn Grovey joins Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaefer on Drive Time Sports every Wednesday afternoon at 4. Brought to you by the DHR Group of Sonic Drive-Ins.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas's losing streak has been pushed to 4 as they fell to Ole Miss 27-20 on Saturday night. The offense was once again the story of the game as the Hogs rushed 29 times for 36 yards against the 12th-ranked SEC run defense. KJ Jefferson was also sacked 5 times. After the game, Coach Sam Pittman talked about the rushing struggles.
It's hard to win a game when you can't run the football, and we've got to figure out a way to do it. Obviously, we're trying, but what we're doing is not working, so we got to figure that part of it out. The way we're built, we can't win games not having success rushing the football.
Arkansas heads to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama on Saturday. Kickoff for that game is set for 6 o'clock. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Listen for NFL Hall of Fame referee Walt Coleman Wednesdays during Morning Mayhem, presented by Sigma Supply Packaging Products. Schedule a free waste audit analysis with Sigma Supply's sales manager, David Breitenberg, and see if automation is a solution to your production line issues. Online at sigmasupply.com. If you're not using Sigma Supply, you got low-grade product, man.
How important is price when buying tires? Maybe for you, it's what drives you to choose your tire store. How important is service? And what about choosing a tire store that is locally and family-owned? What if I told you that your local, family-owned Big O Tires in Conway and Cabot can offer you the most competitive pricing with the caring service that you expect from your neighbor? Right now, we have huge savings on our most popular sets of tires to keep you and your family safe on the road. Tires, service, and straight talk. Big O Tires.
Do you need Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton? Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888. It really is just that easy. If you've been injured and need help, it doesn't matter where in Arkansas you are. Just dial 888-8888. We'll come to you. I'm Mike Rainwater of Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton. We have been thankfully serving Arkansans for years, and we appreciate the trust you've put in us. We work hard for you, Arkansas, each and every day. Anywhere in the state, dial
We're back with Wild Bill at Motorsports Authority. Great selection here on the left, but what about my trade-in, Wild Bill?
We'll trade for just about anything as long as you don't have to feed it. We'll put top dollar in that trade. I'm getting country fried crazy during this sale right now, and I'll tell you what, folks, it's a lot of fun to do business with us. So if you're wanting top dollar for your trade, you need to come see us.
You can check out the complete selection online at msastore.com. Better yet, come see us in Russellville on East Main, in Hot Springs on Central. You better get down here to Motorsports Authority.
Touchdown!
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Sky Rizzy, Risankizumab Rizin, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Sky Rizzy helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
This year, elevate your style in a Cadillac. Go from bold to bolder in a stunning Escalade. From inspiring to awe-inspiring in a sophisticated CT4 or CT5. From credible to incredible in a dynamic XT4. Visit your Central Arkansas Cadillac dealers.
Have a watch party that everyone wants to attend at your house with the best of meats in the business. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Arkansas right up on the football. 2nd down and 6. Davinion stays in at running back. McKJ's going to throw. Fade down the right sideline. Broden's in the back of the end zone. He caught the ball. Well, he didn't catch it, but they throw a flag.
After further review, the result of the play is a touchdown.
Yeah. Touchdown, Arkansas.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
It is Out of Bounds here on Reaction Monday, folks. And I know we've had a lot of things happening over the sports weekend that we're going to try to get to all of those things. But the best thing about those sports weekends, especially a football weekend like we had this past weekend, is using the Bet Saracen app and being able to win all the money you possibly can when it comes to sports gambling. Because we know with Bet Saracen, it's easy, it's convenient, it's fast, and it's the best way to do it. We mentioned that Arkansas has already opened up as a 19.5-point underdog to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Maybe you're feeling the Hogs. Maybe you're feeling like the defense is going to keep them in the game. Well, make some money on it. Stop what you're doing and download the app right now, Bet Saracen, and make some money on it. Because this past weekend, I'll admit, I put a lot of money down on Arkansas to cover the spread, and thankfully that they did. And I was able to win out big with Bet Saracen. But that's just the tip of the iceberg because they have all the specials going on right now. So, for instance, if you think that Arkansas is going to cover 19.5, but also feel like the over-under, which is set at 48.5 total points, goes over, you get plus 275. That's one of the Arkansas specials that they have. They still have NFL specials for the game tonight in the NFL. Green Bay and the Raiders. How about a successful 2-point conversion? You can bet on that. How about Packers the first to 10 points and the Raiders to win? You can bet on that. Or if you really want to get crazy and go with some long shots, how about both teams to score a touchdown on their first offensive drive? Plus 2,000. That's only with Bet Saracen. So download the app today. Bet Saracen on your iPhone or on your Android. You can also go online at betsaracen.com and get to betting that way, no matter what it is when it comes to all of your sports betting. Bet Saracen is the one and only app to have. Again, it's a Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services here on Out of Bounds. And we have a lot of people that's chiming in as far as the Arkansas Razorback team from over the weekend and their performance. for whatever reason, there were some people I saw on social media that were still positive after that game. I was like, man, I don't know how you can be positive right now. I mean, I appreciate the optimism. Trust me, I'm an optimist, but I don't know how I can feel good about anything going forward right now.
That's more of a love for the team. That's what that is. It's they're always going to believe no matter how bad it's looking at the time. Now, you can take the opposite approach where you're more realistic, but that's just more of a love for the team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I appreciate it and everything, but it's just, ugh. I mean, 2-4 right now is just disgusting to even think about at this point. I thought worst case scenario they'd be 3-3. Worst case. Well, no, the worst case is actually 2-4, and they're going to be 2-5 after this weekend, just because it's Bama. So
There are some people that their favorite teams, they'll pick them to win every game, no matter what it looks like. Going in every game, they're going to pick them to win.
Those are true fans right there. The ultimate optimistic fans out there. Southern Structure Solutions text line, though, JB in Little Rock says, how about that 4th and short with KJ under center? Progress. Yeah, how about that? Man, it's almost like it works when you try it. And they did. And it worked. Even with that offensive line and that Bear defense that they were running. Wow, who would have guessed? It was a nice little conversion. I'm glad that Dan Enos, I guess, read his emails that everybody was so mad about. But yeah, that was nice
maybe
to see.
Too late. Like that could have helped in a different result for some of the other games, but at this point, maybe too late. Now it's something that they can use for the rest of the season, but how effective is it going to be, or how much are they going to actually be in those situations even more down the stretch? We don't know.
Also, Chase and Cabot, chances we get a bowl game at 5-7. I don't even want to go to a bowl game if you're 5-7. I still believe, and I know they do it because, there's too many bowl games for teams that have winning records or at least 500 records. And then what do they base it on? Is it like your academic or your APR if you're at 5-7 and there's a time left for you?
There's
something like that.
You get rewarded for being good in the classroom too.
I can't wait if that happens to Arkansas to go 5-8. It's going to be awesome. Have the season end up going 5-8 because you lose the bowl game.
Yeah, that would be something.
Ugh.
If a team goes 5-7 and then they lose, that would be the ultimate going into the off season. It's like, that's no kind of building there.
Yeah, I don't want to even be a part of that, but it is. I guess it is possible. It is possible. Let's go to the phone lines. Jake is in Cabot. What's up, Jake?
Hey, afternoon, John. Freak, how you guys doing?
Good. Doing great, man.
All right, here's my take on Saturday. These guys just are not. My biggest concern is total yards in a game and how significantly that has dropped from last year. What I expected out of this team this year, and I'm not saying the two are the same, but hear me out here. Did you guys watch the Miami game yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Short crossing routes over the middle in cover 2. And when you got cover 0, the safety speaks up, someone goes over the top, like they did to Tyreek Hill, and hit him on the sideline for an easy touchdown. I don't understand, why they're giving us those looks. If you watch the games, they're showing cover 2. They're showing cover 0 as thinking that safety is. Why can we not recognize that? KJ can throw the ball, man. I love Sam Pittman, and I don't want to put the blame on him. I really think the fault of this whole thing is at Dan Enos' feet. He needs to simplify this big time. I mean, if I'm a fan and I can see this, tell me you guys can't. Short crossing routes between the linebackers and the safety. Tell me that would not be effective. I don't care. Like you say, on first down, you want to get at least 5-6 yards, right? Stay on schedule, blah, 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 whatever they say. Well, what's the difference between getting in a run or getting in a pass? And those short dink and dunk passes, man, I don't have enough. I don't have pride to say, they're just going to dink and dunk it, and that's how they got their yards. Who cares? Dink and dunk it, get your points. Dink and dunk it, set up the run. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this, because I honestly thought I was going to see something similar to what Miami showed yesterday. And I'm not a Miami fan, by the way. I just haven't watched the game. As far as, the running game and also the passes, the only long pass they had was when they had cover zero. Tyreek beat that guy it wasn't even 5 yards off the line. Granted, it's Tyreek Hill. We all know he's like one of the fastest humans alive. But once he beat that guy that was going over the top, just all you got to do is lay in his hands is touchdown. So, sorry to break it down that long and take so much of you guys' time. I just like to hear what you guys have to say about this because it's frustrating to me, dude. I just want some wins. And we have the talent. It's like a bunch of puzzle pieces that don't fit together, man. Square peg, round hole. So, you guys have a great day, and love you guys. Go Hogs.
All right. Appreciate it, Jake. Thanks for calling in. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, Joe, but I get what there's a lot of things that maybe they could do differently, but at the same time, man, if that offensive line doesn't block for you and if they're struggling to even have the rushing attack, help out the passing game, it doesn't really matter what type of offense or what type of routes you're running, man, because it's like if that's the part that's up front, then it's failing, then it's hard to really find any sort of thing you can point to and say, oh, well, just do this differently because it's just been so bad this year.
What Jake mentioned, though, the crossing routes, that is something that will slow down the blitz because if the linebackers are coming in and you're throwing the ball behind them, at some point they're going to want to change that and try to cover the players that are running in open space behind them. So that is something that can slow it down. Now, the major difference is, and he mentioned Tyreek Hill, it's not only Tyreek Hill with the Dolphins, it's players all over the field that have speed. That's not to say that Arkansas doesn't have speed, but they don't have that type of speed. And it's not something that points towards Arkansas. There aren't many teams that have that type of speed. The Dolphins are in a category by themselves as far as all the speed on the outside and inside.
Well, then also throw into the mix of, what, say, for instance, and since we're talking about Arkansas specifically here, that you could maybe mix some things up. You could maybe run a few things to try to get the blitzing off. But if I'm a defense going up against Arkansas, and I would be interested to see if Bama does, which I'm sure they would be, but you don't even really need to blitz many people. I mean, if you got a 4-man front, Arkansas is getting beat pretty easily in a 4-man front. And so, I bet you anything that Alabama's going to say, all right, well, we're just going to send 4 guys up front and then, drop back our other guys and just see what they do. Because again, Arkansas hasn't even been able to forget picking up blitzes. They can't even pick up the guys out there stunning and going in their crosses and everything. So, that's something that it depends on which team you go up against and which matchup that you have. But again, if you can't have any sort of success in trying to block what Ole Miss is doing, then, if you go up against a team like Alabama, I think they're just going to dare you to try to do something downfield or anything, or try to just stop them with the 4-man front and make a very conservative effort defensively to try to make that work.
And then you can throw some slants, you can throw some quick outs, you can do some of that, and then that will open up the field downfield a little more. So if the DBs see you doing a lot of that, and then they want to come in and try to cover it better. But it's methodical and it's a process if that's the way you choose to go about it to be able to open it up downfield.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Matt's in Little Rock. What's up, Matt?
Hey, fellas. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Doing great, man.
Oh, first of all, Joe, condolences. Steelers are nowhere near as good as I expected them to be. I hyped them up at the beginning of the year. Also,
it looks like, Matt, what they're going to be in, and it was last season, same type of deal. They were up and down.
Wild card.
Now they're going into the bye.
Be a wild card.
Yeah,
sure.
they're going into the bye. So we'll see if they look any different offensively coming out of the bye, but not really expected.
I hope they clean it up.
Yeah, not really expected.
Well, and John, congratulations to you and the trash can you called the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the trash can that I call my team. What is going on with Russell Wilson, fellas? What in the world? He looks like he's never played a down of football in his life, and this man has a Super Bowl ring. And also, one more thing. Well, 2 more things. Arkansas basketball, guys. How about that red-white game, those stats? I mean, I can't wait for this season. And one last thing. What's the percentage of callers you think call in that are intoxicated? Because the last 4 I've heard seem to be a little bit less than sober. So I'll hang up and listen now.
All right, Matt. Appreciate you calling,
Appreciate it,
man. As far as intoxication, I think everybody's drunk on life, having a good time with it. But to the point of, talking about the Jets and the Broncos and Russell Wilson and stuff. I don't know, man. This isn't even about a Jets thing. The Broncos with Sean Payton and with Russell Wilson and all of that. And I'm not going to try to sit here and say that, I was thinking that they'd be Super Bowl winners, but this is not what I expected out of them at all. They're sitting at 1-4 and gotten blown out and just have not looked good. And Russell Wilson's not looked good. I know he played decently yesterday. I guess he had 2 touchdown passes. Did have that fumble.
He's been playing well every week. It's just that they haven't been able to put it all together in other areas. But once again, the focus is going to be on him because of the season they had last year. Now they have a different coach in place, and they're like, well, if things don't go right, this will be the end for Russell Wilson. That's everybody's mentality. That's how they see him and view him at this point in his career.
Yeah, and then the Jets, of course, and with Nathaniel Hackett and that whole deal, they really wanted this one and to see, how excited they were for him and hyping him up. And even Robert Saul gave him the game ball after the game, gave it to Nathaniel Hackett, whatever that's worth. But I was laughing about it because I'm like, I was laughing because I'm like, okay, I get it that, is it all? I feel like it's all just because of those comments that Sean Payton made.
It is.
Where if he didn't make those,
there's no way he would have just gotten a game ball if it's just a random week 5 opponent and there aren't any comments tied to it.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. I mean, it's like, listen, I'm happy for you that you won, but your quarterback still didn't throw a single touchdown pass, so and then the defense stepped up and played really well.
Breece Hall should have gotten the game ball.
Yeah, man. It's so good to have him back and have that big play banking ability that he provides and opens up a little bit more. But yeah, I guess, Jets are 2-3, so take good for that, but still was definitely weird seeing the Broncos struggle like they have so far this season. All right, let's go to Navy Mike. What's up, Navy?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Indigenous People Day.
Absolutely.
For all the indigenous people out there, which I am one of, as a full-blood Native American. We were here when some guys, quote unquote, discovered it already. But guys, my Panthers are the only 0-5 team in the league. I mean, we could easily go 0-17 and set the record for ineptitude in NFL history. Going defeated for 17 games. And you know what, Joe? And what's crazy about it is, you got teams like the Giants and the Bears and the Patriots. I mean, as bad as those teams look, they've at least won a game. At least one game they've won.
Panthers will find one. They'll get one somewhere.
I don't see where. I don't know how. Not with this coaching staff and this bust of a quarterback. But because look, man, I mean, like, it's going to be sad to see. I mean, I'm going to be happy for him, but Eric Bieniemy he's going to get his chance this season at some point to be the head coach of an NFL franchise finally, because they're going to cut bait with Riverboat Ron at some point. I guarantee you that. It'll probably happen within the next month. And he should have been our coach. I was screaming on Panthers board on Twitter and Spaces this is who we need to hire, because he would have drafted C.J. Stroud, who looks the closest anybody's looked to Patrick Mahomes in a while, especially in this draft.
Stop it, baby. Stop.
I mean, look how good he looks. He's setting records, 5 games in. I mean, so I just don't know. Frank Reich. I mean, I don't. And this will be this, and I'll hang up after this. But can you guys? I mean, can you guys make sense of these coaches get fired and then immediately get hired somewhere else? Like the whole recycling thing is just so. It makes no sense to me.
Well, if you're talking about rehiring Ron Rivera, it's the same story.
Well, exactly. They're gonna fire a coach that would used to be our coach, and they're gonna hire and promote the guy that should be our coach now. So yeah, man, I feel the Bronco fan, but he's at least got a win under his belt. I mean, that guy's got a ring, So anyway, that's all I got, guys, and y'all take care.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Appreciate it, Navy. I feel like the recycling of coaches and whatnot is, pretty common. I'm not saying it's a success rate that's really high, but there's a lot of examples where they do end up having success, maybe even more so at their next stop than what they did at their previous stop.
Look at some of the first-time head coaches. Shane Steichen of the Colts, he's having a lot of success. And then Jonathan Gannon, both those guys came from the Eagles organization, who coaches the Cards. The Cards aren't racking up wins, but you can see that Cards are headed in the right direction.
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, they're giving teams all that they want at this point. And I guess with if you talk about recycled coaches too, I was trying to think of like the most recent one that's actually had success, because Bill Belichick gets brought up all the time, but like I feel like that's definitely an exception to the rule because of just like he's so far and away better. But I mean, guys that even took time off, like Pete Carroll, in the NFL. He didn't have success with the Jets and then took some time back into college and then came back and had success in the NFL and won a Super Bowl. So it is possible. I mean, sometimes you see it happen, sometimes you don't, but I don't think it's as absurd as anything that what people can bring up. And also from our Asher Record Live fan feedback, let's see. I'm going to read this from Joe Wall. It says, KJ under center. It wasn't 4th and 1 in the Ole Miss game. It was 3rd and 1 with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. It was Pittman rubbing it into the nose of the Hog fans.
Well, it's been a problem on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. So short yardage situations.
Yeah. Which, what's crazy? I was looking at the stats and I know the season's not over, but you're at the halfway point. And I was comparing it to last year. It's kind of crazy. Arkansas last season was 9 for 20 on 4th downs. They went for it 20 times, only got 9 of them. This year, they're actually 6 for 9 on 4th downs. So
yeah.
For what that's worth, I mean, I don't know.
Almost 50% last year, but when you take more chances, then you're probably going to come up short more time.
Yeah, it's not as obvious as maybe some of the, like, I'm not saying because this is why they're having success. No, I'm not saying that, but it is kind of funny when sometimes the perception of it is that it is just horrendous and it's terrible and it's so much worse. There's actually some things on the offense that they're better at this year than last year, if you can actually believe it. Not much, not where it counts, but there are some things that they are actually better at. But it doesn't matter. Wins is all that matters in the end, and Arkansas just doesn't have a whole lot of them right now. But still, we got a lot more to talk about here on a Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. We're going to have your What's Trending in the World of Sports coming up next. And I know we got a few people who are holding on the lines. We'll get to you as well, and we're going to keep it moving here on Out of Bounds. So you better stay with us.
What's good, y'all? Clint Sterner here for Low T Center. Fellas, when it comes to your health, every man should know his testosterone number. What's that mean? It's simple. You need to schedule an appointment at Low T Center immediately. It's quick. It's easy. Hell, it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, get the results in about 25 minutes. So if you've been feeling tired and grumpy, sensing a lack of motivation and drive, dealing with high cholesterol, noticing stubborn weight gain, and or loss of muscle mass, it's on you, fellas. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey folks, Trey Johnson here with HJ Trailer Sales in Hot Springs. And I want to thank all our customers for making HJ Trailer Sales the #1 trailer and truck bed dealer in the state of Arkansas. With fall almost here and everyone heading to the woods, I want to let you know that we're here to keep your trailers on the road with a great repair shop. So come see us at HJ Trailer Sales, where we make you the priority and where you will also find that we keep our word. We're family owned and operated. Check us out at hjtrailersales.com or on Facebook.
It's Justin Anker reminding you that CertaPro Painters is here to help you as we transition from summer into fall. And if you're thinking about doing something to the outside of your home, maybe it's long overdue, CertaPro Painters is here to help. Have them come over, give you an estimate, and they can help walk you through the process of what it'll take to get it done. They can help you out with the color selection and everything else you need to get the job done right. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. For your home, for your business, get your place looking right with the help of my friends at CertaPro Painters.
Bring smiles to all when shopping online with Dell Technologies Gift Guide. Whether it's for the artist, the entrepreneur, the student, or the streamer, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Dell.com/gift guide makes gifting easy with a carefully curated selection of our best tech. Shop now to explore our innovative PCs like the XPS 13 laptop, powered by the latest Intel Core processors, plus this season's top accessories. Visit Dell.com/gift guide today to get a jump on your holiday gift list. That's Dell.com/gift guide.
It's time for the fall haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the fall haul at Northern Tool. Back up the truck for the season's biggest event and save on generators, power tools, trailers, and more. Shop in-store or at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
Hello, folks. It's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. For the past few months, we've been asking you to give us a chance to buy your cars, and the response has been great. We really appreciate all of you who brought your cars in and turned it into cash. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Folks, we're still buying cars every day. So look around and see what you or your family has in the garage that you want to turn into cash. It's really easy, folks. Just come into Fletcher Dodge and ask for Chris or Andy. We'll buy any vehicle and we'll pay you more than anyone. We can't find enough vehicles at the auto auctions to meet the demand. So we're extending you this offer to the public. We'll pay you more, so don't wait. We've purchased hundreds of cars from fine people just like you. Come see us today for the best cash offer on your car, truck, van, or SUV. Just ask for Chris or Andy. We'll pay you more, so come see us at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood. Thanks.
Now the power to protect your M&B debit card is in your hands. With Secure Lock technology, you can lock or unlock your debit card for purchases. Select geographic locations where your card can be used. Set transaction spending limits, alerts, and more. If your card is lost or stolen, you can simply turn it off right on your mobile device. So enjoy your security and let M&B Secure Lock do the rest. Just download the free Secure Lock app. We've got you covered. You keep moving forward. At M&B, we've got your back. Check us out at mnbbank.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Want to voice your opinion so you don't have to hear the same terrible callers every day?
Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Then call or text 501-661-1037 to help the cause. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Must stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
If you're shopping for a vehicle, you want to get to Gwatney Chevrolet. Gwatney has the best deals in the market. Been doing it 60-plus years. Give them a call, 501-982-2102. Take advantage of no payments for the rest of the summer at Gwatney Chevrolet. And go to GwatneyChevrolet.com where you can see all the deals, the cash allowances, the rebates, even appraise a vehicle, see just how much it's worth. They're giving thousands over book value, whether you trade that vehicle in or you sell it to Gwatney Chevrolet. Gwatney is always actively buying vehicles, so you get a great deal on the vehicle that you trade in or sell. Make the trip to the Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville. And before you make that trip, you can actually get a deal started on GwatneyChevrolet.com. Gwatney Chevrolet has convenient service hours throughout the week. Also, Saturday, 7 a.m. until noon, in case you can't make it throughout the week. So get that service scheduled today. It's Gwatney Chevrolet, Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer. Gwatney Chevrolet, GwatneyChevrolet.com.
It's Out of Bounds here on a Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services, and a few things that will be trending in the world of sports that we'll definitely get into. But let's go ahead and work through some of these phone calls real quick before we do that. And we got Rebecca, who's in Hot Springs. What's up, Rebecca?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, Joe. I was thinking of you. I'm happy y'all beat the Ravens. Can't stand the Ravens. John, I was real happy your team did what they did to the Broncos. That Broncos fan wants to know what happened to Russell Wilson. He got older. He can't play. That's why they wanted him out of Seattle. He's a trash quarterback, kind of like Dak is.
Whoa.
Okay.
Rebecca going all in.
That was just great to watch. I mean, I know they, like you said, there was no offensive touchdown, but still, that was just great to see after Sean Payton running his mouth like he did. It was just great to see.
And Rebecca, who do the Chiefs play next on Thursday night?
The Broncos.
There we go.
At Arrowhead, and then 2 weeks from Sunday, we play them again at Denver. But anyway, I'm not worried about it. We'll be ready. Hopefully, we'll play better than we did yesterday. I realize we got lucky, but that a win is a win, no matter how ugly or how pretty. A win is a win, and I'll always take it.
Absolutely.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but 49er John, I am so happy y'all showed the Dallas Cowboys who the best team, and I can't, as much as I love my Chiefs, the 49ers showed who the best and most complete team in the NFL is right now. That was an outstanding job. That was an outstanding game. I mean, it got boring after a while, but They showed the Cowboys. They showed the Cowboys. Y'all have a great afternoon. Love the show. Bye.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Appreciate you calling in, Rebecca. I think she's happier about teams winning against other teams than she is even her own Chiefs fan team winning.
Well, those division games, she's all about it. She hates every team in the division. So anytime they take a loss, then, yeah, she's definitely happy about it.
Let's go to Toby in Little Rock. What's up, Toby?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, man.
Good, good. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I've got just a couple things to say. First of all, that game between Miami and Georgia Tech lets me know there's still hope for our coaching staff, okay?
Yeah.
And then secondly, honestly, I've been a little hesitant to criticize KJ because I think he's a good quarterback and can be a great quarterback. But, you know, he just looks a step slower. And I don't know what's going on. Maybe it is because of some of the other callers have said maybe he's just taking too many hits. But I don't know. Is he losing money by still playing? Maybe he just go ahead and hang up his spikes for the rest of the year and depend on the NFL draft, because he is looking honestly terrible. And Rocky Sanders, you know, he is also. So I don't know. I think money is just flying out the window for him every game we play, because, you know, our line's not blocking. And it's just making him look a lot worse than what he really is.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the phone call, Toby. I just, you know, I guess it was tough to say if we're talking about KJ itself, like losing money. He's not draftable right now with the way that it's been looking. But, you know, I feel like that was one of the reasons why he came back, is maybe last year he wasn't draftable either. And the things that they wanted him to work on, maybe it just hasn't clicked for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, they just weren't willing to take a risk on him last year. But as far as, you know, mailing it in or, you know, losing money, I don't know if it's to that point, because I don't know how much he was worth before the season started compared to where he's at now.
Absolutely right. KJ's not in a position to be able to shut it down and say that, you know, his draft stock is already so high that, you know, it can only get worse from here. It's not like we're talking about Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
You know, that's a completely different situation. So KJ, he's not in a position to be able to do that. And you just have to play the schedule out the way it is and play to the best of your ability. And, you know, it goes back to the focus always being on the quarterback. So, of course, he's going to be the guy that they look at. We can even look at the Brock Purdy situation. They had expectations at Iowa State his last year that he was there, kind of similar to Arkansas, maybe not as high expectations, but good cast around him. Iowa State didn't perform up to expectations. Brock Purdy drops in the draft where he was expected to be maybe a second, third rounder, possibly even a first rounder, but he goes the very last pick of the draft and then gets in the right situation, and we see the talent play out on the field on the next level. But that's kind of a comparison you can make as far as what was expected, and then maybe, you know, stock dropping because the team didn't perform well. Not about the quarterback himself, but the team.
It's all about situation more so than anything with those teams. Yeah. So I guess, you know, we'll wait till that happens, as far as, and I'm sure KJ is just not even thinking about the NFL draft right now. They're just trying to think how to win games. But real quick, before we take top of the hour update, let's get to what's trending in the world of sports.
What's trending in sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
All right, what's trending in the world of sports? A lot of things. It's always dealing with injuries and the NFL, but the New York Giants are optimistic that Daniel Jones will be playing against the Buffalo Bills after he had a neck injury when he left in the fourth quarter. He's level from behind and sacked for a sixth time, but they're saying that they're optimistic that he could return for that game. But the Giants already got so much going on against them. Definitely don't want to lose your starting quarterback, but I guess optimism doesn't mean he's playing, but at least it's a good sign that they feel like it could happen. And then also, speaking of injuries with the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, he had a strained right hamstring, and they're still waiting on the final test results, but they're not going to put him back on the field until he is 100% ready to go. So this is something that I know people always talk about, when can they come back and can they go if they're not 100%, but they're not even willing to risk it there with the Minnesota Vikings, because Kevin O'Connell, the coach, says he's down today. He's obviously one of the most ultra competitors I've ever met. He was trying to get back in the game as it was yesterday. We're going to have to medically make a good decision and help almost protect him from himself a little bit in a way that we got to take care of him and make sure that he's back 100%. So for Vikings fans, that's a big blow, but kind of just shows the competitive fire that Justin Jefferson has, where he's like, oh, even with that injury, I'm still trying to go back in. But they got to do what's best for him in the long term, too.
Protect him from himself.
Yeah. And then also some college football news. The AP poll comes out, and I know we'll talk about some of the games themselves specifically, but Oklahoma soars all the way to number 5 after their victory over Texas, rightfully so, and they're now in contention for a playoff spot. And then you have Louisville, who also jumps up 11 spots in the top 25 after their big win against Notre Dame over the weekend, too. So that's just a little bit of what's trending. We'll have some more headlines as the show goes on. But when we take a top-of-the-hour update, we'll come back. We'll talk about all of that and a lot more with Chris Gordy, as he'll join us at Locked On SEC, as well as Sports Talk 790 down there in Houston. We'll talk some college football, NFL football, especially those Texans and the way that they're looking right now. But we'll get to that and a lot more coming up next, so you better stay with us.
Chosen as one of Arkansas's best places to work 8 years in a row, Rainwater Holt & Sexton is hiring premier paralegals and legal assistants at all locations: Little Rock, Conway, Hot Springs, Bryant, Jacksonville, and Springdale. Rainwater Holt & Sexton's mission is to compassionately represent injured and disabled Arkansans. With generous benefits and competitive pay, Rainwater Holt & Sexton is a destination employer hiring the best. Apply today at callrainwater.com.
Strength is measured not by the number of accounts. Strength is placing value on relationships. It's having the vision and the guts to invest in growth. It's the commitment to responsibly manage your money. At Stephens, we believe that our strengths build success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stephens, member NYSE, SIPC.
Join Kevin McPherson, Arkansas's premier basketball recruiting analyst, each Friday on Drive Time Sports. Brought to you by Fence Brokers. Fence Brokers, going the extra mile.
Breaking news, information, big-name guests, entertainment, and sports. It's all right here on 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock.
Buzz News with Channel 7's Ryan Houston.
Longtime KATV news director and guardian of Arkansas history, Jim Pitcock died after a brief illness. He was 83. A pioneer in Arkansas TV news, he moved to Little Rock in 1963, where he worked for KAAY Radio and then KATV Channel 7, working as the news director for more than 30 years. Later on in his career, he was on the staff of Attorney General and United States Senator Mark Pryor. For more info on Jim Pitcock and his impact on all of us here in Arkansas, please head over to our website at KATV.com. A local farmers market called Mia McGee is bringing the community together. They are providing hundreds of locally grown pumpkins and sharing different ways they're useful. Whether it's craving the pumpkins or making a delicious treat, Mia McGee gives the community a chance to connect with vendors. From the Channel 7 Newsroom, I'm Ryan Houston.
Clint Sterner joins Justin and Wes in the zone, courtesy of Motorsports Authority. Motorsports Authority has 2 great locations with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. Check them out online at msastore.com. Clint Sterner in the zone, brought to you by Motorsports Authority on your fun and game station, 103.7 The Buzz.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7's Melinda Mayo.
A pretty quiet fall weather week for us. A little warmer the next few days, up to 82 this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. And tonight's low drops down to the mid-50s, low 80s the next 4 days, and some small rain chances Thursday. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
Are you a fan or are you the ultimate fan? Play the Alon DK Ultimate Sports Fan Package Sweepstakes for a chance to prove you're the world's greatest armchair quarterback, all from the comfort of your own home theater. Visit an Alon DK near you to enter for a chance to build your own home theater with a $5,000 Best Buy gift card plus a YouTube TV gift card. Your ticket to streaming your favorite games this season. Visit an Alon or DK today and score big. No purchase necessary. 18 or older. Message and data rates may apply. For official rules, eligibility, terms and conditions, and privacy policy, visit myalon.com/ultimate sports fan sweeps.
Hi, neighbor. It's Garen with Shamrock Roofing. Fall is upon us. Don't go into the cold, wet winter months wondering if your roof will hold up till spring. Get peace of mind now. Visit shamrockroofer.com for a chance to win a new roof free.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
See Shelter agents Brian Kress or Caleb Green in North Little Rock, or in Brinkley, see agent Hunter Cornelison.
Blast into a new year with the Rocket Man Show, a tribute to Elton John at Oakland's Event Center on January 1st, 2024. The Rocket Man Show with Russ Anderson features a night of Elton's greatest hits, incredible costumes, and fierce piano playing on January 1st at Oakland's Event Center. Tickets for the Rocket Man Show are available at oakland.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Peter Burns.
Jimbo Fisher, Bobby Petrino, the offensive gurus that they are, decide on 4th and 1 from Bama's territory, got to punt it. They decide to punt it. They decide to give Alabama the Popeye spinach that they needed, and you knew it was a wrap. It was an absolute wrap after that decision was made by Jimbo Fisher and his staff. At some point, you have to be the alpha dog. You have to make these kind of alpha moves, and I don't see that from Jimbo Fisher. At any point, you say, I can't get a yard? No one's going to fault you if you don't get the yard. If you don't get the yard, you tip your cap to Alabama and say, that's why Bama's Bama. They're that good. But you didn't give your team a chance. Everybody continues to be afraid of Alabama, and I get it. He's the greatest coach in the history of the game. But at some point, you can't blink. You have to go out there and change that narrative.
O'Reilly. Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10, plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a roofer, I've got a million things to do, and that's a million things that need to be done right. That's why I partner with Beacon. The team at Beacon makes sure my materials are delivered accurately and on time. And the Beacon Pro Plus app makes ordering the brands I depend on, like CertainTeed Landmark Pro, easier than ever. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase CertainTeed through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios, this is Out of Bounds.
I think I worry about it more than the kids. We've got good kids. They're continuing to fight. You don't fight if you don't believe in something. If you don't believe in the coaches, don't believe in each other, or you don't believe that you're going to win. That's when you stop fighting. I don't think we'll have that problem ever with this team. And we got to get ready for Alabama. But it shows really the character of the kids.
Yeah.
With John Nabors.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
And Joe Franklin.
We won't go in the shell. We won't go in attack mode because that's what's required.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
may taste like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good, won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down, we playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem, you just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest phone. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke.
1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. It's been a great reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. We've been reacting to everything happened over the sports weekend. There's so many things to talk about. Honestly, we've talked a good bit about Arkansas, but man, the amount of college football games that were great NFL games, got Major League Baseball playoffs going on. It's just the best time of year for all things sports. So let's talk all about it as we go to the phone lines and welcome in Chris Gordy of Sports Talk 790 down in Houston, as well as the Locked On SEC podcast. And Chris, as always, man, appreciate you joining us. How you doing this afternoon?
Well, I'm good, John. I'm actually coming to you from the press box here at Target Field for Twins Astros ALDS Game 3 tomorrow. So, yeah, nothing like going from 80-something degrees in Houston to 44 degrees in Minneapolis.
I can only imagine it. And it's kind of crazy. Like, how do you balance that out where, of course, you know, here in Arkansas, we're all football mode, and I know you guys are as well in Houston, but, you know, the Astros and Major League Baseball in the playoffs, like, how, does that have everyone's attention right now in Houston, or is it pretty balanced?
It's pretty balanced. It's funny. We were actually about to do our pregame show on Saturday from the ballpark, and we were carrying the Longhorn Sooners game on our station. And so we actually had the speaker set up, and people were in the ballpark getting ready for Astros Twins, all huddled around our speaker listening to the final call of Texas versus Oklahoma. So, yeah, it's that weird time of year where everything intersects. We got, preseason NBA is already starting this week. We've got college basketball about to start. So, yeah, it's just that weird time of year where everything's going on at once.
How you feeling about the matchup with the Astros and Twins? They're currently tied in a 5-game series, tied at 1.
Yeah, Astros kind of finding themselves in uncharted territory. They're used to, winning the first 2 games of an ALDS in Houston, and maybe lose a game or 2 on the road. But more often than not, they've swept this round and gone on to bigger and better things and get on to the ALCS. And these feisty Twins wanted to give them a little something to battle here. And Twins got the big win last night, so we're tied 1-1 coming up to Minnesota. And it's a feisty team. It's Carlos Correa, a guy who used to play for the Astros and won a lot of games for them in the postseason, and now he's bringing a little of that luck to Minnesota. So it's going to be a tough series. I mean, I said the other day, it wouldn't surprise me if it went 5, and we'll see if the Astros can't get a win here in Minnesota, if not 2. But we could be coming back to Houston for Game 5 on Friday. So it'd be really interesting to see. Like I said, cold weather up here. We'll see how the Astros react. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Astros aren't used to it. They're used to just beating the sun out of everybody.
Well, Gordy, let's talk a little bit about college football from the weekend, especially in the SEC, because there was a lot of great ranked matchups going in to this weekend. And we'll start with the one that I think everybody had their eye on with A&M and Alabama, considering how just 2 years ago A&M was able to get the win there in College Station, trying to take advantage of it again. But 26-20, Alabama gets out of there with a victory. What do you think of the game, but also just the decision not to go for the throat if you were Jimbo and Bobby Petrino of trying to go for it on 4th down and maybe have a better chance to win the game? Because I felt like the game was over pretty much when that moment happened.
Yeah, I thought it was the epitome of where these two teams are right now. I mean, Alabama's defense, outside of the blip on the radar against Texas, every other game their defense has just been downright dominant. I thought that second half, they were eating Texas A&M's offensive lines for lunch. I mean, they just had no answer. Max Johnson was constantly under pressure, and A&M just couldn't do anything. But I thought on the other side, Jimbo Fisher is still coaching like it's 2001 or something. Like, he is just so conservative with his play calling, and 1 yard to go on 4th down, let's punt it. I mean, college football has changed, and Jimbo has not changed with it. And I thought some of the offensive play calls were actually pretty good for Bobby Petrino, but Jimbo very conservative on Saturday, and it cost him the game. I mean, he'd been a little bit more aggressive in a couple spots. They maybe could have come away with that victory, but tip of the cap to Alabama, man. Now they're back once again in the driver's seat in the SEC West, and if they keep running this thing, they're going to find themselves in Atlanta. We'll see. LSU will still have something to say about it in a couple of weeks, but feel bad for Arkansas, man, because I don't know if this skid is going to stop anytime soon with getting Alabama this week.
Is that something that's been questioned or asked about to Jimbo? Because we know that he has been conservative, but Bobby Petrino's his approach isn't conservative, and he is the play caller. Now, the play calling can be led to go in a certain direction. So has that been asked about?
Yeah, I'm not talking so much about like the offensive play call. I thought was fine. It was the big decisions, right? Like I think they had a 4th and 1 just past midfield, and they opted to punt. Late in the game, they're down a score, and they had a 4th and 2, I think, near the goal line. They could have went for it, but instead they settled for the field goal. Like it was just all these little things they kept doing. They kept making it. It was like, come on, man, like have some balls. Let's go for it here. And unfortunately, like I said, you play conservative. You play not to lose, you're going to lose, and that's what Jimbo did at A&M on Saturday.
How are you liking what the rest of the SEC looks like setting up? Like we thought going into this weekend, there was a chance that Georgia gets upset. They seem to always be on upset alert, and they made a statement. And then with A&M and Bama, then Bama comes away with a win. So it looks like the cream is certainly rising to the top, even though they may not look the same in Bama and Georgia and being as dominant as they have been in the past. It seems like it's headed in that direction. And then LSU is going to have something to say about it. And these are the 3 teams we thought going into the season that they would be in the mix. And it's seeming to kind of turn out that way, even though it's looked like to this point in the season that other teams would have a say-so in it.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia started to look like exactly like the Georgia we were expecting to see, the start of the season. Everybody was kind of, crapping on them the last couple of weeks. And, a lot of people were picking Kentucky to pull off the upset. Lo and behold, Georgia came out and said, no, this is the 2023 Georgia Bulldogs, the team that's going for a three-peat. The big thing to me is, Brock Bowers is obviously uncoverable. He's the best tight end in the country by far and away. But Carson Beck is starting to play a lot better, and he's starting to get some confidence in that offense and that system. And he just took Kentucky's defense to the woodshed on Saturday. And there's a reason why I bet on Carson Beck as my dark horse Heisman. I got a bet out in Vegas. I'm going to fly out there, cash it in if he wins it. But watch what happens these next couple of weeks. If Carson Beck keeps putting up, ridiculous numbers, and Georgia keeps winning and they're undefeated, Carson Beck is going to find himself at the Heisman ceremony in New York. I know people want to push for Brock Bowers, but the problem is the guy's throwing him the football. If Brock Bowers has 3 touchdowns, well, Carson Beck has at least 3. And if he throws a couple more to other guys, he might have 5 or 6 in a game. So just going to be something to watch there. But, yeah, Georgia's not playing around. They look to be the real deal. It wouldn't surprise me if they, continue to win the rest of their regular season games. LSU.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say LSU's going to have a say in this thing with Alabama. Like LSU's offense cannot be stopped. Ever since that week 1 game where they kind of stumbled in the loss to Florida State, week in and week out, they're scoring at will on people. Now the defense is not good. I mean, they've got issues, but when they go to Tuscaloosa in a few weeks, all you got to do is have more points on the scoreboard than Alabama does. And we've seen Alabama's offense. It's good, not great this year. If LSU and Jaden Daniels can go in there and score 30-plus points, I think they're going to have a good chance to pull off the upset.
And with the way that Missouri and Kentucky have played to this point in the season, they have a big game coming up this week, and another game that looks really interesting, A&M taking on Tennessee. So it's starting to really heat up as far as the conference schedule and some of these games and the way that it's going to play out.
Yeah, and that's the fascinating part of the Kentucky-Missouri game is literally a week ago at this time, we were talking about both those teams being undefeated. And a week from right now, we'll be talking about one of those teams being on a 2-game losing streak. So that's how quickly things can turn in your season when you get into SEC play. I mean, it's week in and week out, you're getting everybody's best shot. So that will be fascinating. And I'm fascinated to see how A&M will respond. I mean, okay, you lose the Miami game with no defense, fine. You lose the Alabama game with conservative, play calling and things like that. You got to go into Tennessee and play aggressive. That is a tough place to play, but Tennessee's been sitting around for 2 weeks, and Joe Milton's looked okay at times, but not the dominant Joe Milton everybody was expecting to see. So that's going to be a good one, and everybody's heading there. SEC Nation, Marty McGee, they'll all be out there, but it'd be a big feather in the cap for Tennessee, and it would be yet another big loss for A&M to take a third loss this quick on the season would not fit well in College Station.
So Chris Gordy of Sports Talk 790 and the Locked On SEC podcast here on Out of Bounds. So Gordy, I know it's technically a future SEC game, but without a doubt, the most exciting game, or at least one of them, was Oklahoma and Texas over the weekend down there in Dallas. Just an epic game. Oklahoma gets the win, though. So is this more about Oklahoma being legitimate, or did you just feel like there was some bad decisions or maybe some bad play there by Texas in this game?
Yeah, I think it showed Oklahoma's legit. I was one of those people doubting them a week ago. I thought Texas was going to win, and part of me felt like Texas might win big. I just felt like Oklahoma hadn't really been tested all season. Texas had with the big win on the road in Tuscaloosa, but you go down, you get that field goal late in the game, you got to win that game. Your defense let Dylan Gabriel gash you and make big throws and go right down the field. So, yeah, it's not the end of Texas's season by any means. We could end up getting a rematch here, but it stinks from the standpoint of Texas was really feeling like this was their year. They were going to go on, maybe undefeated, get to the playoff, and now they have very little room for error the rest of the way. They can be fine though. Sark can win the rest of their Big 12 games and get back to get to the Big 12 title game, but it's very disappointing on that front. All your defense had to do was get one stop and you win that game.
Oklahoma was impressive on both sides of the ball as far as how physical they were, and that probably led to what turned out to be the difference where with the Texas receivers, we know that they're really good, but every time they touch the ball, they would have the ball get to their hands, but Oklahoma would hit them, and maybe the ball pops up, and now you're giving your defense a chance. That was really impressive from the defensive side of the ball, and then offensively, they were able to run it. So I think they just out-physical Texas in this game, which most people didn't expect going into it.
Yeah, and that was the difference in the game. I mean, the two early Quinn Ewers turnovers is what was the difference. And so again, we may see a rematch, and maybe Texas takes care of the football next time, and maybe get the victory. So I'm not writing Texas off just yet.
Well, Gordy, as always, man, I know you got to run. You're a busy guy up there. We appreciate you hopping on with us. Enjoy the Major League Baseball playoffs, man, and good luck to your Stros, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it. Again, it was Chris Gordy of Sports Talk 790 joining us on the phone line, talking about football and also some Major League Baseball with him. And that's got to be a cool experience, though, going to, again, we're all football driven at this point in time of the year, but with Major League Baseball playoffs going on and some of the interesting matchups, that's still a big deal, especially down there in the city of Houston, too.
Absolutely. With all the crossover in sports, it's a great time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Chris, and I know we'll talk about it as part of Best and Worst of the Weekend, which we'll do in the 3 o'clock hour. And also Trey Shapp's going to join us later in this hour to talk about the Great Stevens golf event that he's at. But, man, I think we had a caller, I think it was Toby maybe, that Miami Hurricane game ending against Georgia Tech might have been one of the weirdest and worst things I've ever seen. Like, it's one of those deals to where if Mario Cristobal kneels it, and then they get out of there with a win, it's all great. Even if they run it, but then they don't fumble it, people are probably like, that's a little weird, but they're fine with it. But just literally could not have a worst case scenario happen at the end of that game where you just kneel it and you win, and then just seconds later you end up giving up a bomb from Georgia Tech and they end up winning the game.
Not only you get in that situation to begin with, but then you give up the play when exactly at that time what needs to be done from the opponent, Georgia Tech, in this situation where they have to score a touchdown. They have a receiver running wide open down the field, gets behind the defense, and the quarterback is able to roll out and make a play on it. Now, this is a preview of worst for best and worst, but not only do you put yourself in that situation that the Hurricanes did, they shouldn't have run the ball to begin with, but then the play wasn't reviewed because it looked like even, from first glance that the runner was down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anything that's close, for college football, it's not that they review every play, the turnover like they do in the NFL.
Right.
But when plays are close, somebody will call down and say, hey, we need to take a look at this. not only did it look like his knee may have been down, his elbow was definitely down, and the ball pops out. So it's a worse for Miami even being there to begin with, but worse for them to not review it and make sure that this was a fumble and that Georgia Tech would get possession of it.
Yeah, it was just a all bad deal. And when Georgia Tech ended up scoring a touchdown, not condoning it, but I would have been just like those Miami fans where they just start seeing trash get thrown on the field. Like they just start throwing bottles. Like, are you kidding me? Like that type of thing to lose that way. And in fact, the call of it is pretty incredible when it happens in real time too.
Here's Chaney, the straight ahead, tackled, and the ball popped out.
You got to read the clock. I mean, read the card. I mean, to me,
Georgia Tech has it with 26 seconds left. Kyle Kennard comes up with the fumble.
you should not be running the football. I mean, it is. You should be taking a knee. As long as you milk it all the way down, you don't need to be doing this, and you certainly don't need to be fighting for extra yards.
Singleton, the fastest of the receivers, to the top of the screen. Here's King from the pocket. Flush to his right with 6, 5. Going to loop it downfield. And ball is caught. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. With 1 second to go in the ball game, Christian Leary hauls it in.
With 10 seconds to go from the 44, snap back to King. Flush out to his right. Looking. 5 seconds to go. He will toss it into the end zone at the 5. Leary into the end zone. Touchdown Jackets. Touchdown Jackets. 1 second left. Christian Leary. What did we just witness? Throwing downfield to Christian Leary, who got behind the defense at the 5.
In case you couldn't tell, that was the Georgia Tech call there at the very end. But I mean, if you're Georgia Tech, you got to be going crazy. But yeah, if you're Miami and just the circumstances there at the end of the game, man, if I was a Hurricane fan, knowing that I was undefeated, you had a good win against Texas A&M earlier in the year, and you know that the ACC, they've got some good teams, but you got a Georgia Tech team that's not great, and you got at home. Like that's the type of game where it's like, man, you should be expected to win, you should win, and to lose like that, just where it's unexplainable, man. That's brutal for Miami fans. It's brutal for Mario Cristobal, and that's just brutal for the Hurricane season. Not saying it's over, but it's certainly a big blemish on it, which it shouldn't have been even from the start.
Another reason they should have been kneeling on the ball at the end of the game is because they were behind in this game. They came back, took the lead, so it was hard fought, and not even thinking about going into the game what was expected, but you get into it, hard fought game. You're going to be happy to be kneeling at the end of that game because of the way they played. They got behind, they came back, they had the lead. So now you get into victory formation, you kneel on the ball because it's time to get off the field.
Yeah, and you kneel on it, you get off. And I know that with some coaches, everyone's got their different philosophies. I mean, I also look at it, in basketball. It's always about, do you foul when you're up 3 or do you, not foul, or do you let it play out? Like everyone's got into game philosophies on how they handle things. And I can respect it because there are some times where it works out and sometimes where it doesn't. But this was just one of the ones where I'm like, I don't know what the benefit was. Like, I don't know what would be the harm in knowing that all you got to do is kneel down and the game's over. You running the ball like this, like only bad things can happen, which is really what happened. Like there's no positives, only bad things could have ended up happening like it did. So I just didn't understand.
The announcer, he mentioned also the running back is fighting to get extra yards. Like, why are you fighting to get extra yards? You're already winning the game, you run the ball, trying to run the clock out. Just like as soon as you get hit, go down, and the play is over.
Yeah, and it's over.
But on top of that, they should have reviewed it because he was down. He was down as they're pulling on the ball. But as a running back, you know that they're going to be pulling on the ball in the game situation where the team on the other side still has a chance. They're not behind by so much that they don't have a chance to win the game.
I don't know if ACC officiating is going to make a statement or anything, but I would be curious to know if they ever do come out with a statement as to why they didn't, look at it further, considering the importance of that play and the impact that it had on the game itself. We review so many things in college football as it is. Why was it reviewed? And if it was reviewed, why did it not get sent down to say, all right, wait, let's take a closer look at this? Because it wasn't like you're running out of time either. Like you have a change of possession. Like, there's already a timeout in place. So why would you not want to at least take a look at it in some capacity? I don't know. Maybe they'll make a statement on that, but it's definitely, we've seen a lot of other plays that were less obvious than that one still get reviewed.
Only if Miami complains about it. And if Miami does complain about it, the ACC is going to have something to say to them as far as, well, why were you in that situation to begin with? But, and Miami probably won't complain simply because they knew that they shouldn't have been doing that to begin with.
No, they shouldn't have. But, hey, it's college football is always a crazy thing, and that's why you play until the whistle blows. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more Out of Bounds here on Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services. Want to continue to hear from you. 501-661-1037 is that number to call or text in. We also got the Asher Record Live fan feedback. After me on Twitter at Buzz John Neighbors. More Out of Bounds coming up next, so you better stay with us.
Tune in to hear what the head hog has to say each Wednesday with the Sam Pittman Show, brought to you by Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer.
This is SportsCenter.
In the NFL yesterday, there were a few notable blowouts. We'll start with the Saints, who beat the Patriots 34-0. In the game, Alvin Kamara became New Orleans' all-time leader in touchdowns. The Patriots fell to 1-4 and also benched Mac Jones in the game, who was 12 for 22 with 2 interceptions. On Sunday Night Football, the Niners beat the Cowboys 42-10. San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy threw 4 touchdowns in the game, while Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions. The Niners are 5-0 with the Browns, Vikings, and Bengals closing out the month of October. Tonight, the Packers and Raiders will face off on Monday Night Football. Kickoff is set for 7:15. It'll be joined in progress on the Buzz at 8 o'clock. And in Major League Baseball tonight, Game 2 of both NLDS will be in action. First up, the Phillies will take on the Braves with a 1-0 lead in the series at 5:07. Then the Diamondbacks, who won Game 1, will take on the Dodgers at 8:07. Both games can be seen on TBS. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
At Stevens, our philosophy is to invest every dollar as if it were our own, to seize opportunity, to anticipate rather than react, to deliver constant focus in an ever-changing world, and to pursue the objectives of our clients in order to help them reach their financial goals. A proven history of helping companies and individuals. Stevens, member NYSE SIPC.
Justin Anker reminding you that if you want the job done right, then don't stress. Just go with the best. CertaPro Painters is your go-to painting company. You can get your free estimate scheduled at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. People who are going to be responsible and people who are going to be accountable to you and your family to make sure your project gets done right. So if you've been thinking about sprucing up your home or business for the fall season that is almost upon us, you need to get CertaPro on the case. Use the company that I've used many times over the years. It is CertaPro Painters. You'll be happy you did.
Have you gone all summer long and you've had pain in your knees, your back, your hips, maybe even your shoulder? Well, why don't you try to get rid of that pain? Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. I've been talking about QC Kinetics now for quite some time, and I've got friends, family members across the country that are using QC Kinetics right now, and it is changing their life. And the best part? No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Think about that for a minute. And people are feeling like they're self again with no pain. QC Kinetics doesn't just mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties in your own body to go directly to those joints and restore and repair those damaged tissues. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See shelter agent Matt Steele in Bryant, Todd Matthews in Benton, or Justin Stewart in Malvern today.
David Dunn here with Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer. We're the area's largest and highest rated independent diesel repair facility for all makes and models, from transmissions and brakes to suspensions and engine repair. If you're tired of high dealership prices and long wait times, come see what family-owned and locally operated really means. Expert technicians and the latest computer diagnostics will get your equipment back on the road fast. Take the England exit on I-440 to Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer, 568-2185. That's Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Kevin Harlan and Mike Golick will call the action when the Raiders host the Packers. Green Bay's looking to bounce back from last week's loss, while Vegas hopes the return of Jimmy Garoppolo under center will help them break a 3-game losing streak. Join us on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1037 The Buzz.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Unlike other shows, we don't talk over each other with old hee-haw jokes.
This is bullcrap! Well, I ain't standing for this! We'll burn as hell! Yeah, they're down!
So call or text to actually be heard on Out of Bounds at 501-661-1037. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Hey! Turn that damn jukebox on!
On 1037 The Buzz.
Great time to get to Twin Peaks for happy hour, 2 to 7. Later, happy hour, 10 to close. Enjoy all the food and drink specials that go along with it. Get a lunch combo starting as low as $7.99. If you want to take some food to go, you can order online, curbside, or to go, courtesy of Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. Twin Peaks has great drink specials during happy hour. Apps for $2, $4, and $6. You want to get by Twin Peaks to check out some Monday Night Football action tonight, Major League Baseball playoffs going on. There's a lot going on at Twin Peaks sports-wise, and they're able to accommodate you by coming in, watching the wall-to-wall TVs. They have all the sports going on, and then you can get something great to eat and drink there at Twin Peaks. NHL season opens tomorrow, October 10th, and there's going to be a triple header at Twin Peaks. And during the month of October, you can check in at Twin Peaks. They have NHL hockey nights and give away prizes and do some drink specials during NHL hockey nights. So it's Twin Peaks, where they have a lot of great specials going on daily and weekly. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic view.
It is a Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. And we have a bunch of people that's been coming in on our Asher Record Live fan feedback, as well as our Southern Structural Solutions text line. So I want to get to some of those responses. This comes from Ham Hock on Asher Record. He says, the BYU loss derailed the entire season. Firmly believe that if we get that win, we beat LSU and no worse than 4-1 going in against Ole Miss and possibly 5-1 going to Tuscaloosa. What could have been?
The BYU result wouldn't have necessarily changed the next couple of games, but it did change the outlook on the season. because you're talking about an additional loss that most were counting on to come through. When you're talking about the non-conference games, it was expected that Arkansas would win all of those. So that was definitely a season-changing game.
Yeah, it's just I think it's a combination of everything that could go bad for Arkansas, where not only are you having an offensive line problem, you're having a change of the offensive philosophy, which obviously doesn't seem like it's working out for the offense in general. But on top of all that, you also have the toughest stretch of your schedule in the early part of the year to try to maybe build some confidence in that offense, but you can't because you're playing some of the best teams that you're going to be facing against. None of them are at home, mind you. And that loss against BYU is just going to be lingering to where, again, I think if you're 3-3 right now, I'm not saying anyone's happy, but they're certainly saying, all right, well, you got these really good teams on the road. It was tough. But now it's the case of like, it doesn't matter. You're 2-4. Doesn't matter what happened in that BYU game or not, but you're just not looking good, and there's no reason to point to anything and say, oh, yeah, this is why it's going to be okay. There's just none of that right now. But for sure, if you win that BYU game, it makes it at least look a little bit different, but still, I don't know. I just don't feel like if they beat BYU, then their offensive line is going to start blocking better and against A&M or anything like that. It just wouldn't happen. Also, I looked up the stats too, Joe. We talked about quarterback sacks for KJ. I was looking at just last year's. KJ's been sacked 31 times so far this year. 31 times.
And some of that could be on the offensive line, and some, another part of that could be on him if he's holding on to the ball too long. It's always a combination when you're talking about sacks with the quarterback and the offensive line, but it does start with them up front, and if they're not able to protect them, then the quarterback is looking to move around maybe a little more than they usually would, or waiting on some things to try to develop downfield. Now, the receivers and the play calling, as we were talking about earlier, could help out because of the offensive line struggling, and it's just not happening with any kind of combination there.
Also, sorry, just real quick, I got it mixed up. It's actually been 23 times this year so far, but I was making the comparison because it was 31 times total last season. So you're talking about almost getting close to the total sack amount halfway through point of the season, where last year you only gave up 31 sacks. But it kind of just shows you how many times the offense, for whatever reason, whether it's KJ holding on to the ball too long or offensive line not blocking, just the difference that it's made in having the pressure put on KJ and trying to make some plays there too. And then also in the Southern Structural Solutions text line, Savage says, if we had Bryles, we would be winning more games.
Whoa. Man. But, yeah, problem is he was ready to move on.
He was. And I'm not saying that, if Bryles was the offensive coordinator right now, then it would just be night and day and everything would be perfect. But, say what you want about Bryles. The guy, the numbers at least, every time he was at Arkansas, they put up points and they put up yardage. They had production. And right now they're not putting up points, putting up production, putting up anything. I never would have dreamed in a million years, Joe, that we'd be going into the Alabama game where Alabama's 12th in total offense in the SEC. 12th. And I'd be like, if I heard that, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be great. Well, Arkansas's 14th, dead last. So it's like, you can't even get that over them. It's like even in their time of their offense is struggling. You still have a worse offense than what they have. But
it's key where the defensive ranks are.
Yeah.
And we know that Bama should be closer to the top.
Yeah, total defense for Alabama, they're at 4th in the SEC, 19th overall. Arkansas in total defense is 7th, right there in the middle. So, again, pretty good production from what it was just a year ago. And also, I got this from JK in Fairfield Bay. He says, I feel for KJ and Rocket with preseason hopes, but this season is not over yet. So, okay, there you go. Got some a little bit of optimism there and hoping that the season goes at least better the rest of the way. I just don't know where it's going to come from. I just don't know where the wins are going to happen. And who knows, Joe, maybe they pull the unthinkable and beat Alabama, but probably not. I'm not going to pick them to do that. There's no way Nick Saban's going to allow that to happen. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the 11 a.m. game angle, right?
Home they games? Play good games at 11 a.m. now. Yeah. And it's stuck in people's heads that 11 a.m. is not a good time slot, or it's some kind of strike against you to play at 11 a.m. Well, the networks, they want to be able to broadcast games all day long, and that starts with 11 a.m. They want to put some good products on TV at 11 a.m. So that's not to say that this is or isn't, but if you look at some of the other games, Texas OU is always an early game every year. Michigan, Ohio State, these are some of the better rivalries in college football. They're always in that early slot. So it's not a slight against them. So why is it a slight against anybody else, especially with the TV deals now that are in place and them wanting to put a good game on to begin the day with? It's not a slight anymore to play at 11 a.m.
Well, I think it was even 2 years ago where, it was 2 years ago in 2021 when Arkansas played Georgia on the road. Georgia's like number 1 and Arkansas was number 8 at the time. And they had game day there. That game was at 11 a.m. Central Time, but noon on Eastern Time. Like this, do you think that they were having a slide against a top 10 matchup at the time where they had game day? No, there's value in it. It's just more of the home fans aren't always going to be a fan of it, but the ratings, the television, the slot itself, like everyone's going to be watching an 11 a.m. slot game if it's a quality opponent. Like that those days of like, save those for the trash teams. Like sometimes it's that way, but other times too, as you mentioned with the big noon kickoff or whatever with Fox and ESPN, like they're starting to showcase some of those good games. What was it? LSU, Missouri this past weekend was 11 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
Colorado, USC, which turned out to be a good game. We know about the hype going into it. USC wins by touchdown, which they've been playing a lot of close games, but 10 a.m. locally in Colorado on Mountain Time.
Yeah, because here's the thing, too. If you were there or if, say, they're not going to do it, but say if they had a 10 a.m. game here in Arkansas and you were a top 10 team and you're going up against another top 10 team or whatever, guess what? You're still going to show up to the game. You're still going to have 78,000 people there. So if you want to go, you're going to go no matter what the time is, and as far as the time of day goes. Speaking of USC, man, what was it? Triple overtime?
Against Arizona.
Whew. I mean, they got it done. They ended up winning, but
playing some of these close games too at home. But that shows that their defense, they're so heavily dependent upon the offense, and their defense doesn't show up, and they haven't been showing up over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you got all the offense in the world, and the Pac-12 is a really good conference this year, in its final existence, or at least as we know it. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that USC, maybe if the defense did improve, it'd be to the point to where it's at. But man, yeah, one of these days it's going to bite them. One of these days it's going to end up costing them because of having the poor defense there.
It did a couple of times last year against Utah.
Oh yeah, which. Again, the Pac-12 in general has just got a lot of good teams in there. Also, real quick before we take a break, because I know we'll get to Trey Schapp on the other side. This comes from Dakota on our Southern Structural Solutions text line. He says, guys, what do you think about the Dodgers, Braves, and Packers on a 3-leg parlay? Parlay about 4.5 to 1 on Bet Saracen. Is it worth a little sprinkle?
Yeah, it is.
I like the Packers tonight.
Yeah. Those are teams that need to bounce back, too.
Man, Dodgers got smoked in Kershaw's opening. Whoa, they got just destroyed. So, but no, it's type of games, maybe they bounce back afterwards. And, the Braves are good. So, yeah, Dakota, I'd take a little sprinkle on that, as you put it, on Bet Saracen. I'd take a little sprinkle on that for you. But we're going to take a break, though. When we come back, Trey Schapp's going to be joining us as he'll tell us about the great event going on with the golf tournament down there in Dallas that he's been covering. And we'll get to some thoughts on that. We'll have your Raise Your Hog update. We'll keep it moving here on Out of Bounds on the Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services. So stay with us.
Jackalope Cycling is passionate about the Arkansas outdoors. To help you enjoy this beautiful state, Jackalope offers an array of bike rentals to get you on the trails.
What about fly fishing from a bicycle?
You can't do that, but Jackalope also offers fly rods, reels, waders, fly fishing accessories, outdoor and camping gear.
Yeah, it'll be tough riding a bicycle and waders.
But you can still enjoy the Arkansas outdoors with Jackalope Cycling in Russellville or jackalopecycling.com.
River Valley Tractor, your leading Kubota dealer of Central Arkansas. River Valley Tractor is closer than you think. A company that cares for you is right around the corner. RiverValleyTractor.com. With 5 great locations to better serve you, visit River Valley Tractor in Bryant, Sherwood, Conway, Russellville, or Pine Bluff today, or find them at RiverValleyTractor.com. Work smarter, not harder with River Valley Tractor. River Valley Tractor, closer than you think.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Fellas, Clint Sterner here. Let me get your attention real quick, man. If you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. What's that mean? If you want to get back to feeling your best, you need to schedule your health assessment at Low T Center ASAP. It's quick, it's easy, and now it's convenient. Low T Center offers monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month, cash pay, or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center got you. They'll ship your treatments directly to your home. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Serious injuries happen every day. If it happens to you, don't wait. Dial 8. Dial 8 for Rainwater Holton Sexton. 888-8888. We can meet you online, at your house, or wherever is easiest for you. Dial 8. 888-8888 for Rainwater Holton Sexton. Anywhere in the state, dial 8. We've got you covered, Arkansas. Anywhere in the state, dial 8. Rainwater Holton Sexton. 888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
It's not just about the size of the meat, it's about where you get it from. So get it from Hoggs Meat Market in North Little Rock. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Third down goal to go, just outside the 5. In the gun, KJ, bad snap, ball's on the ground. Jefferson picks it up, rolling right. Got a man, touchdown, Arkansas. Armstrong in the back of the end zone. The snap hit the turf. KJ never panicked, picked it up, rolled right, and the throw was right on the money.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
It's Out of Bounds, folks, and we know that with this weather being outside, it is gorgeous. It is perfect. It's been chilly when you wake up in the morning, and we know that it's just going to get a little bit chillier throughout the rest of the month of October, which means for all you hunters out there, duck season. That's right, duck season just around the corner. And as always, Max Prairie Wings has got you covered because right now you can receive a $2,000 Max gift card with the purchase of a Thor boat, motor, and trailer package. Or maybe you need a new gun. How about the Beretta A300 12 gauges just being $799, or the Weatherby 18i 3.5-inch 12 gauge, super mags included, starting at $749.99. Or maybe you're looking for that ultimate vantage point. We know that if you're going to be up there, you might as well have the Mighty Skybox 20-foot double rail ladder stand to be able to get you that great vantage point. That's sturdy, it's spacious, and right now it's on sale for only $189.99. That's just one of the many deals that they have going on with Max Prairie Wings there in Stuttgart. So be sure to check them out. We know all sorts of hunting season is going to be going on. When that weather starts to change, you know you want to get the best deals. You want to get your stuff taken care of, and you want to make sure you do it with the best in the business. It's Max Prairie Wings. You can shop them online at maxpw.com. It's Max Prairie Wings. The hunt begins here.
Coverage of the third annual Jackson T. Stevens Cup from Trinity Forest Golf Club in Dallas, Texas is presented by Stevens. Stevens, focusing on relationships over transactions.
All right, let's head on down to Dallas as we have Trey Schapp, who's over there checking out the third annual Jackson T. Stevens Cup at Trinity Forest Golf Club there in Dallas. What's going on, Trey?
What's up, John? Joe, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
We're doing great, man. You're doing great. And it sounds like you're in your element down there, man. In Dallas, being able to watch some golf and especially see the Razorbacks down there too, both men's and women's. You're in paradise.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here at Trinity Forest. A little bit windy, but you expect that when you come to Texas, and especially on a course that is wide open like Trinity Forest. It's more of a links style course than a tree-lined course for those of you that love to play the game of golf and understand what that means. The number one ranked Arkansas women's team is playing, and right now they've got some work to do, guys, as Wake Forest, Texas, and South Carolina are all three tied in the first spot at -8. Arkansas is -1. They've completed their first 18 today, started their second 18. They are in sixth place. The top four advance to match play after tomorrow's 54 holes when they're completed after tomorrow. On the men's side, you look at LSU, and they're off to a strong start in this one as they are 19 under par, tied with Florida State. Florida State's actually 2 under on their second round. So LSU shoots 19 under on its first round, led by Connor Gaunt, who is a 2-time Arkansas amateur champion from Cabot, Arkansas, played at Rolling Hills growing up. He shoots 8 under par on his first 18 holes, had it to 9 under, guys, with 2 eagles, no bogeys, with 4 holes to play. He told me he hit 1 bad tee shot. That cost him a bogey, but he shoots 64 on his opening 18 holes, which is 8 under par. It's a par 72 course here. The course record, by the way, was 60. So he was not at one time, it looked like he might have been able to get to that, but unable to do that. But the Arkansas Razorback men right now are in 5th place. They have started their second round. They're 2 under on it. Both Thomas Curry and John Daly II birdied the par 5 10th, which was their first hole. They're at -11, and the leaders at -19. So the Razorbacks, they've got some ground to make up. But if they could put a good score together this afternoon, they might be able to jump up and then put another good one together tomorrow, make it into the match play on Wednesday.
How's the course compared to this is the third annual Jackson T. Stevens Cup? So they've played at 3 different courses, began at Alotian, at Seminole Golf Club last year, and now at Trinity Forest Golf Club. How do each of those courses compare?
Well, obviously the Alotian Club is hilly out in West Pulaski County, and so that's one that Joe and John, wide open fairways out there. The greens are what kind of can hurt you at the Alotian Club with the undulations and where they can put hole locations. It's not an easy walk. Seminole last year, being on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean in Juno Beach, Florida, kind of wide open like this one is. It had a lot more water on it than this one does. The green complexes at Seminole are difficult. In Trinity Forest, it's wide open fairways, zoysia fairways, the zoysia grass, which helps that golf ball sit up. But the green complexes here are what is very difficult with Trinity Forest. It hosted a PGA, the Byron Nelson, for several years. Here did Trinity Forest before it moved to Frisco. But I would say all 3 of the courses, Joe, private courses comes to mind. They're very exclusive and difficult golf courses, but it's something that these college kids are really getting a treat to play on.
So I'm curious, Trey, because I noticed that North Carolina won the men's title, but they're not playing in this year's event. So how does it go as far as the selection or the invitation, or how does it go with which teams are able to compete and which teams want to compete?
Sure. Well, North Carolina is hosting their own event, I believe, this weekend, or you can only play in so many tournaments each year. And the selection, you're always going to have Arkansas playing in it because of the Stevens name and the relationship there. But most of the times they like to get the past champions, and then they like to get teams that are going to be towards the top of the rankings. The Arkansas men's team comes into this tournament ranked 8th in the country. The women was first. But you look at on the women's side of things, and almost every team that is here, in fact, every team that is here on the women's side is ranked in a poll. The Arkansas Razorbacks ranked first, as I mentioned. And you look at second place, Stanford, number 2 in the country right now. Wake Forest is ranked 3rd. A&M ranked 5th. South Carolina 6th. So you got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 here. And then Texas is 12th and Duke is 18th on the women's side. So they try to get the top teams each year into this event. Next year it's going to be played at Oklahoma City Country Club. And they've announced that it will be outside of Chicago, Illinois in 2025. So they're getting good courses, and they're going to try and get the best collegiate teams as possible, which makes for good television because it's going to be on the Golf Channel this afternoon starting at 4 o'clock.
Arkansas has both teams there represented, men's and women's. Is Stanford the only other school that has both teams?
Yes. Stanford's the only other school that has both teams here. You look on the men's side, you've got you've got Florida State, San Diego State, Arizona, and SMU. And this is SMU's home facility as well. And they've got a tremendous facility. It's about 10 minutes outside of Dallas, kind of southeast of downtown Dallas. And so it's close to the SMU campus, and they've got a phenomenal practice facility just across the street where the driving range is located from the course proper. And so they get to play out here all the time.
Well, Trey, man, we really appreciate you joining us. Enjoy your time down there in Dallas, and looking forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Since we're going to be at the Buzz Golf Tournament, it's going to be a lot of golf tomorrow, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of golf talk tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, appreciate it. Again, that was Trey Schaap down there at the 3rd annual Jackson T. Stevens Cup, sponsored by Stevens Incorporated there in Dallas. We're going to take a top-of-the-hour update. When we come back, we'll get to more phone calls and messages. Brent, stay on the line. I know you probably have a few things to say. And we'll have best and worst of the weekend, and we'll keep it moving on to Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services here on Out of Bounds. So stay with us.
Commercial Truck and Trailer has 5 service trucks available, providing you on-site service to get you back on the road. If that doesn't do it, Stacked has a new state-of-the-art 13-bay shop for service and repair on all Class A trucks, trailers, RVs, light and medium-duty commercial vehicles, tires, brakes, AC, engine repair, transmissions, differentials, and driveline repair. Stacked Commercial Truck and Trailer Repair. Get Stacked 2 miles off 530 exit 34 in Whitehall.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter Agent Paul Killingsworth in Cabot, Jonathan Stone in Lone Oak, or Stephen Reeser in Jacksonville today.
This is Chuck Barrett, inviting you to listen to me call the Hogs on 103.7 The Bunkers. KABZ Little Rock.
Buzz News with Channel 7's Cassandra Webb.
This week is Fire Prevention Week, and the American Red Cross is helping people in a special way. The Red Cross Home Fire Campaign will provide educational tips with the installation of smoke detectors in your home at no cost. Red Cross does smoke alarm installations each month. For more information on home visits, you can check out this story on our website, katv.com. Homer G. Blackwell was memorialized this weekend with the unveiling of a historical marker in North Little Rock. Blackwell was a Black entrepreneur who died in the Argenta race riot of 1906. 10 people died during this riot, including Blackwell, who was lynched at the intersection of 6th and Main Street. North Little Rock Mayor Terry Hartwick presented a proclamation in honor of Blackwell at that ceremony. For more news and weather, download our free KATV News and Weather apps. From the Channel 7 Newsroom, I'm Cassandra Webb.
It's the Average Guy Movie Review, Thursdays in the Zone, with me, Justin Acree, and Wes Moore, presented by Rock and Roll Sushi. Our friends from Rock and Roll Sushi will come in and recap or look ahead to what's trending on TV, the big screen, Netflix, or wherever you get your entertainment. It's presented by Rock and Roll Sushi, deliciously twisted flavors and a rock and roll vibe that'll blow your mind. rockandrollsushi.com.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7's Melinda Mayo.
A pretty quiet fall weather week for us. A little warmer the next few days, up to 82 this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. And tonight's low drops down to the mid-50s, low 80s the next 4 days, and some small rain chances Thursday. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Erectile dysfunction is a very serious medical issue. It affects over 60% of men over 45. This can be caused from low testosterone, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate issues, and high cholesterol. The staff at the Little Rock Men's Clinic are specialists in treating these issues. Our medical specialists will determine your specific problem and develop a treatment plan for your specific needs. Our treatments have helped thousands of men with a 96% success rate. Call the Little Rock Men's Clinic at 501-382-9516. Now through October 31st, our office visit is only $79. That includes your exam, blood work, and testos. If our specialist can't prove to you that the treatment works, your office visit is absolutely free.
I am 58 years old. I have more energy, and I am performing like I am 21 again. I feel amazing.
Come to the Little Rock Men's Clinic. We treat low T, ED, Peyronie's disease, and offer a male enhancement procedure. Call the Little Rock Men's Clinic at 501-382-9516. That's 501-382-9516. Or visit littlerockmensclinic.com.
Strength is measured not by the number of accounts. Strength is placing value on relationships. It's having the vision and the guts to invest in growth. It's the commitment to responsibly manage your money. At Stevens, we believe that our strengths build success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stevens, member NYSE, SIPC.
At Edwards Food Giant, they know your family is important, and they also know that your time and convenience is as well. So why not take advantage of their heat and eat items in their deli department? Those famous Edwards Food Giant signature dishes with many of the same entrees and recipes that are served daily in the hot bar, all ready to take home and serve to your family tonight. And it can all be found at your favorite Central Arkansas Edwards Food Giant deli. This week's special is hamburger steak for only $7.49 per pound, paired with mashed potatoes for just $4.49 per pound.
It's Justin Acre reminding you that CertaPro Painters is here to help you as we transition from summer into fall. And if you're thinking about doing something to the outside of your home, maybe it's long overdue, CertaPro Painters is here to help. Have them come over, give you an estimate, and they can help walk you through the process of what it'll take to get it done. They can help you out with the color selection and everything else you need to get the job done right. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. For your home, for your business, get your place looking right with the help of my friends at CertaPro Painters.
The Can-Am Motorcycle Sales Event has been extended through October 31st at Bradford Marine and ATV's statewide locations. Come check out the Can-Am Ryker motorcycle and discover performance and comfort when you hit the open road. Save thousands with in-store discounts and get financing as low as 1.99%. Fall riding season is here, so get the best prices of the year on your new Can-Am Ryker motorcycle from Bradford Marine and ATV. Visit BradfordMarine.com today. Non-current models only. Always ride responsibly and safely.
Roger Scott is warming up those vocal cords to bring you the Razorback Song of the Week on Morning Mayhem. Presented by Dr. Jimmy Tucker at Ortho Arkansas and 103.7 The Buzz.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios, this is Out of Bounds.
I think I worry about it more than the kids. We've got good kids. They're continuing to fight. You don't fight if you don't believe in something. If you don't believe in the coaches, don't believe in each other, or you don't believe that you're going to win, that's when you stop fighting. I don't think we'll have that problem ever with this team, and we got to get ready for Alabama. But it shows really the character of the kids.
Yeah. With John Nabors.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
And Joe Franklin.
We won't go in the shell. We're going to go in attack mode because that's what's required.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too busy once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem. You just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest phone. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put a baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. It's levels to it, you and I know. Tell them be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. It's been a great Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services. We've been reacting to everything that happened over the sports weekend with so many things happening here in the middle of October with all the football and knowing that college football and NFL is in full swing and even have Major League Baseball playoffs going on. So it's been a lot of fun, and basketball will be here before you know it. I don't know if this is current. It might be, but our big whiteboard over here says it's 32 days until college basketball. It sounds right. Just going off of what it says.
Seemed like it may have been close to that last week.
Okay,
so it
so
may
maybe-
need to be updated.
Maybe to update it. Well,
from the weekend.
so we'll just say it's around a month. Go with that. Just it's around a month away before Razorback basketball season at least gets started up. So, but yeah, in fact, the Purdue game against or Arkansas Purdue there in the exhibition game is, I guess, this technically 3 weeks from Saturday or 2 weeks from Saturday. 2 weeks from Saturday.
So that definitely is less days than that.
But since it was an exhibition game, I don't know if that was what they were counting.
Oh,
or
yeah,
not. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's an exhibition game,
counts.
but
it counts as far as seeing basketball on the court.
Yeah. I mean, to me, if it's an exhibition to that magnitude, regardless, it's still basketball. It's still a game. So yeah, but roughly a month away though until that all gets started up, which it seems like at this point in time, Razorback fans are pretty pumped and looking forward to that, and it can't get here any
Wonder
quicker.
why.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like something bad is going on or something. They're
No,
like
nothing bad's going on.
just disappointed somewhere along the way. But yeah, we all know why. But that's the way it is. And then if basketball has some letdowns or disappointments, it'll be there's still baseball season happens.
So the first regular season game, November 6th against Alcorn State. So it is less than 32 days.
Less than 32 days. Okay. So yeah, less than a month away then before all that. Because I believe they have an exhibition game against somebody. I think it's like Tyler State in Texas or something like that.
UT Tyler.
UT Tyler. Yeah. That's happening next Friday. So a week from this Friday is that game. And then 2 weeks from this Saturday. So they have like a week roughly between exhibition games before they get to the big one against Purdue. So that one will be, I don't know the record, but I have a feeling it would probably screw around and maybe break the all-time exhibition game attendance record. I could be wrong. I don't know if that's even a thing.
At Arkansas, you mean in all of college
No,
basketball?
just at Arkansas.
Okay.
Just at Arkansas. I couldn't tell you how many games I'm sure they had of exhibition matchups where probably had more than 20,000
It'll
people.
be big
but-
though, because Zach Edey will be there, and we know that he's a power force inside, 7'4", and he's an attraction wherever they're playing basketball. People want to see him play, and so now get a chance to see this new Razorback team, the roster, and how it's changed over, how they match up against a team like Purdue.
I can't wait because Arkansas, it's going to be tough for them just because, again, you're trying to figure out some things, get your team together, and this Purdue team's got a lot of experience, and a guy named Edey, as you mentioned, is really good. It would be tough for Arkansas to win the game, and, Bud Walton, there's always crazy things, but if they lose the game, can't wait till Monday. Be like, this team isn't any good. I don't see them being any better than what they were.
You know what, though? That's not how it goes with losses. How it goes is nobody cares to talk about it. It's an exhibition. That's all it is. But you happen to win a game like that, now everybody wants to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Now suddenly this team's got championship caliber written all over them. I mean, if we were able to stop a 7'6" guy, I mean, who can we stop? I mean, that's how it goes, but it makes it fun for when that's going to be here, which will be close. It'll be here before we know it. We'll get to best and worst of the weekend here in this segment. First, though, let's get to Brent in Stuttgart, who's been patiently holding. What's up, Brent?
What's up, John? John and Joe, I came to a painful realization Saturday night.
Okay. What's that?
The realization is our offense, the most they can score is 20. Our defense is in the top third in the country. Much improved. Much improved. We cannot run the ball, and we cannot get receivers that can get open. I don't know if that's from we can't block them long enough for them to get open, and our plays on offense just take entirely too long to develop. It takes forever for the snap to get back to the quarterback, and we're just a disaster. 20 points is the most we can score, and at this rate, I hate to say it, it pains me, but the only game we're for sure going to win is Florida International. And John, if I were you, I'd get my license plate changed to Hoggs Score 20.
I don't know if that'll fit, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So the Hogs by 90. Listen, Brent, I feel you, man. I feel you that it's tough to watch this offense.
Quick question before I let you go.
Yeah.
Every year, us as Razorback fans, we're gonna drink Kool-Aid just as big. We're gonna take as big a glass of it as we can find. But I tell you what, they need to do too for the people. They need to allow us in and the media in to see a full-fledged scrimmage. Let's don't call it first 20 minutes. We need to know as fans, what are we supposed to expect? Do we believe the propaganda that comes down from off the hill, or are we going to get a fair assessment from our media members? And right now, I hate it for y'all because y'all do the best you can. We're just getting a lot of propaganda from up on the hill.
Well, appreciate your phone call as always, Brent. Good to hear from you. I think there's something to be said about that and having open practices and whatnot. But at the same time, I mean, I remember when Brett Bielema was here, they had, I think, every Saturday, if not most Saturdays during the spring and in even the fall, except for like 2 weeks before the season started, they had open scrimmage in practice for the media the entire time. And it's not like everybody in the media was saying like, oh man, this team's going to be lucky to get to 5 wins. Like it wasn't that. They even saw it and they still, it's just tough to even say what's good in practice or, bring up the D-line. Oh, the D-line's looking great. Well, the D-line's been solid, but I think it maybe had a little bit more to do with also the offensive line they were going up against too in practice.
Oh, yeah, it had a lot to do with it. But when you go into a season, you have a quarterback that's returning, you have running back that you feel good about, and not only one running back, but just all the running backs together. And you're bringing in some talent, even though it's unknown how they're all going to mesh. That's why there was a good feeling from some that this could be not necessarily a special season, but a season where you could win somewhere between 8 to 10 games. There was that thought that some people were having, and others where it's like, okay, Razorbacks typically are a 6 to 8 win team. Every now and then maybe you get 9, and there's some that put them within that space every year.
Yeah. I just don't think anybody realistically, and maybe there are some, but realistically said, this this team's not going to make a bowl game this year. Like, I don't even think anybody realistically thought that it would be a case where 6-6 looks like not impossible, but very improbable at this point in time in the season. Like, and again, maybe there were some. I'm sure there were, but I don't know how anybody could have looked at what the team had, at least, like you mentioned with the quarterback and Rocket and all that, saying that this team would be lucky to make a bowl game. Like, I just don't think anyone thought that.
Anybody who mentioned, and there were a few that mentioned 6-6 or 7-5, everybody else is like, that would be a bad season. Well, there are plenty that would accept that now.
Yep. And I think people are probably in agreement that right now, at least, half season, it's been a bad half season, no doubt. Rick's in East Arkansas. What's up, Rick?
Hey, I'm not giving up on them. I'll tell you right now, I predicted for the season. It's a tough conference, and there's millions and millions of dollars that goes into this conference, and we're in there with them. And but I predict this goes 7-5, and then win a bowl game. We'll go 8-5. I still think that's possible.
Yeah,
love the optimism.
And, maybe y'all don't. Maybe most people don't think that, but I still think that.
Well, we love that.
They haven't gave up. They have not gave up.
Yeah, and I think that that's worth something, Rick, is that they are, say what you want about them. They're not playing maybe they're the best that they can or maybe making mistakes, but they haven't given the idea that they've just rolled over and died. Yeah.
I was an offensive line coach. I played O-line at UCA for a little while as an underachiever. And but I know how tough it is. I know how tough, but I still believe they're still fighting. And I'm just going to go along with that, and let's see what happens the month of October and the month of November.
All right. Well, Rick, I love the optimism. We all do. And hopefully that's the case. And you know what? If they end up going 7-5, you're going to be the one that we give all the credit to, because that would be pretty impressive considering that they to get to that point. I guess, let's see. So do the math correctly. 5-1 the rest of the way. So I like the optimism. JK's in Fairfield Bay. What's up, JK?
Hey, guys. With all the hype of KJ and Rocket this year, what do you guys think? I think that no matter what happens the rest of the year, they'll get a chance to be in the NFL. And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it, JK.
They'll have an opportunity. We know that there are invitations to the combine, and you would expect that the talent that's with both those guys, they would get those invitations. They'll have a pro day. And then when the draft comes around, nothing is guaranteed as far as them getting drafted, but getting in the camp with a team, if they don't get drafted, yeah, you can expect that they will at least get those opportunities.
Yeah, and here's the deal with KJ. Don't really know because we know this is going to be a talented quarterback class that he's going to be with. And, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out in the combine. But even with Rocket, we've talked about it many times, the running back position's just not what it used to be. It's not valued, and not many first-round picks at the running back position happening very often. So, but they'll have those opportunities to showcase their abilities. Let's just hope that when those opportunities come, they make the most of it. All right, it is Reaction Monday presented by Fleet Management Services, and there's been some highlights and some lowlights. So let's talk about what our best and worst of the weekend happens to be.
It was the best of times.
In your life, have you seen anything like that?
It was the worst of times.
Nuts and bolts, we got screwed. Third down.
It's time for the best and worst of the weekend on Out of Bounds.
All right, best and worst of the weekend. I'll go and kick it off with the best of the weekend. To me, the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm not an OU guy at all. I don't really care for Oklahoma one way or the other than my boy Eddie Radosevich. He's the best and most redeeming quality of Oklahoma. But I am going to give a lot of credit where credit is due. We just had Chris Gordy on, and I was one of these people too that felt like Oklahoma was maybe a little bit overrated. Felt like they hadn't really played anybody. I didn't think Brent Venables was a great coach. He struggled in his first year, had some bad plays, had some bad moments. But I'm going to give credit where credit is due, where not only are they undefeated and number 5 in the country now, but they changed a lot of their philosophy. They put some things together, got Jeff Levy as their offensive coordinator, and they made some tremendous strides, not only offensively and defensively in here in a year. And for all those people that said that, oh, you hadn't played anybody, well, not anymore, because they went and beat Texas in what was an absolutely thrilling game. And Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback for Oklahoma, that's kind of a legacy-defining moment, being able to lead that team down there for a touchdown to beat Texas. That game means a lot. You can tell the rivalry is still very bitter there. Doesn't mean Texas is completely out of it, but my best of the weekend definitely goes to Oklahoma, who answered the call and got the dub and made it when it mattered most.
Best to the 49ers, who continue to dominate, got a 42-10 win over the Cowboys last night. And it was a dominant performance on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. They just put it all together. And you see that everybody is so reactionary on that defense. They follow the ball at all times. They're able to make plays where the ball might go to the right place as far as on an attempt, but the DBs, the defenders, they're in position to make a play on the ball. The ball pops up, and everybody is in position to make the interceptions at the time. They create fumbles. They just do it all and that's the defense only. And then offensively, they have a scheme put together where they have wide open receivers in the middle of the field. Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. George Kittle, they are just the complete team, and they're the best in the NFL.
Now, I don't know who's going to stop them, but yeah, they're definitely got no weaknesses right now. I will say another best of the weekend, though, actually goes to, it may sound lame, but actually goes to Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets. Now, I'm not saying giving them the game ball is something, because whatever, but I do think that there's always something satisfying. I think it's all of us who are sports fans or just competitors, that if someone doubted you, or if somebody, fired you, or, said how horrible you were at a job or whatever, you have an ability to respond in kind and be able to have just that little bit of a feeling of revenge or, some karma, whatever you want to call it. I think it's always a very satisfying thing, and that's exactly what happened with Nathaniel Hackett. Now, he's not the head coach of the Jets. Obviously, the season has not gone well for the Jets with the injury of Aaron Rodgers and everything. But for him to go into Denver and to be a part of that team that ends up beating the Broncos, that not only he was the coach of last year, but everyone blamed him completely for all the misfortunes. And also, of course, the comments made by Sean Payton and how terrible it was. I think it's always cool to see a redemption, if you will, and having a little bit of revenge there. So really happy for him. I thought it was cool for him. And I think that's always cool in sports when somebody gets doubted like that, gets hated on like that. For them to respond in that way is always a good thing.
Best of George Kittle, who had 3 touchdowns last night, and Jamar Chase, who had 3 touchdowns. Now, George Kittle, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, he had a team record 15 receptions in their win versus the Cards. But you're talking about both guys, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, the comments that have been made about the Bengals and their slow offense and him not scoring touchdowns, and he said he's always open. He even posted on social media a pic of 7-Eleven last night after scoring those 3 touchdowns. But George Kittle, you can't ask for more than that, where every time he caught the ball, he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, was it? I'm always bleeping open, I think is how he put it so kindly. So, yeah, she showed it yesterday. Worst of the weekend, though, and this does not make me feel bad whatsoever because I'm kind of happy for it, but the New England Patriots, good grief, man. You talk about the Cowboys getting blown out, which was bad, but the Saints blanked the New England Patriots at home 34-0. It was so bad that Mac Jones got benched, and it was
2
just
games in a row now.
Yeah, like 2. Yeah, it's like, we know that not every team's going to be perfect. Not all the legacies are going to be there for whatever. But seeing the Patriots go through what they're going through right now is almost weird. Like, seeing them get smoked like that at home is weird. And Mac Jones, it doesn't give the vibes that, man, they either don't feel confident with him or anything. But still, the point is like, they just look trash. They look terrible. And thank goodness for them, because that's maybe what keeps the Jets from finishing dead last in the division. And at least they have an excuse. The Patriots, they didn't looking good. And anytime you get shut out at home, especially like that, and again, I'm not feeling bad for you, but it does look pretty bad. And that was one of the worst of the weekend for me.
And another best, the Jags, who play their 2nd straight game in London. Well, they come away from the London trip 2-0. They beat the Bills yesterday 25-20. So the Jags, they play games in London every year. This first time that they played 2 games in the same season, played them back-to-back. They come away with 2 wins.
Also, I'll throw a worst of the weekend too for the poor guy that, for those of you who didn't see it, the video does it a lot better, but I'll go ahead and try to explain it to you. But there's nothing worse than getting hit in your most sensitive area. If you're a guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in the Rutgers-Wisconsin game, poor man was just sitting there videoing and taking pictures. The ball got thrown by the Rutgers quarterback, and it skipped perfectly off the turf right into his junk. And he went down for the count. So, yeah, there's nothing worse than that, but that was definitely something that made every guy wince a little bit and feel bad. And also, real quick, another worst of the weekend, Vera Tucker is out for the season with a torn Achilles for the Jets on the same field that he got out for the season last year against Denver. So I hate that for him.
Worst to Notre Dame. They played Louisville, and they lost 33-20. But the problem was, and it was one of those games that was kind of close, but they get outscored 16-7 in the fourth quarter, go on to lose 33-20.
Notre Dame's let me down. I kept buying into them. I kept thinking that they were going to get it done. And I mean, the games have been close and everything, but man, that Ohio State and the way they lost that game, and then in this game, and then in the Duke game, which was close. I mean, it's just like, man.
And they play USC next week.
That's going to be a heck of a game. Is it in USC or is it in Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Okay. Well, I mean, they might be able to score on them at least, get some points there. But that's going to be a great matchup. But yeah, Notre Dame's let me down. Really let me down this year. So not that I'm a Notre Dame fan. It's just I keep betting on them with Bet Saracen, and they keep hurting me on that one. So maybe I need to get away from it. But that's what the best and worst of the weekend is for us. When we come back from the commercial break, we'll have your Razor Hog update presented by True Service. Get a chance to hear from Sam Pittman and some of the players after the game against Ole Miss. And we'll keep it moving here on Out of Bounds on Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services. So stay with us.
For interior, exterior, commercial, and residential painting, hire the pros at CertaPro Painters. Get your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
This is SportsCenter.
Arkansas's losing streak has been pushed to 4 as they fell to Ole Miss 27-20 on Saturday night. The offense was once again the story of the game as the Hogs rushed 29 times for 36 yards against the 12th-ranked SEC run defense. KJ Jefferson was also sacked 5 times. After the game, Coach Sam Pittman talked about the rushing struggles.
It's hard to win a game when you can't run the football, and we've got to figure out a way to do it. Obviously, we're trying, but what we're doing is not working, so we got to figure that part of it out. The way we're built, we can't win games not having success rushing the football.
Arkansas heads to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama on Saturday. Kickoff for that game is set for 6 o'clock. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
How important is price when buying tires? Maybe for you, it's what drives you to choose your tire store. How important is service? And what about choosing a tire store that is locally and family-owned? What if I told you that your local, family-owned Big O Tires in Conway and Cabot can offer you the most competitive pricing with the caring service that you expect from your neighbor? Right now, we have huge savings on our most popular sets of tires to keep you and your family safe on the road. Tires, service, and straight talk. Big O Tires.
Catch the shooter Pat Bradley on Morning Mayhem, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV, with 6 statewide locations. It's riding season. Visit Bradford Marine and ATV and check out the Can-Am Riker motorcycle. Stop by today for the best in-store inventory and discount prices. View all the inventory online at bradfordmarine.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rumors are true. Your favorite sports bar is coming to North Little Rock. Brewski's is proud to announce a second location is coming to the Lakewood Shopping Center, and it won't be too long where you can get the same great pub grub, happy hour specials, and late night fun when it comes to North Little Rock. Voted the #1 sports bar in Little Rock for the last 4 years to catch all the games all year long. Get ready, North Little Rock. Brewski's North is coming soon. Brewski's, you're home for lunch, happy hour, and late night.
Roger Scott, I'm going to talk to you about Sigma Supply Packaging Products and how they think outside the box.
Sigma Supply, the problem solvers. Now, they've been helping business owners for years with their waste audit analysis program. They're going to come in, they're going to analyze your packaging and shipping, and see if automation is what you need to cut costs. Call or text sales manager David Breitenberg with Sigma Supply, and you can schedule your waste audit analysis. Here's the number, 501-617-4600. Sigma Supply Packaging Products. If you're not using Sigma Supply, you got low-grade product, man.
At Edwards Food Giant, they know your family is important, and they also know that your time and convenience is as well. So why not take advantage of their heat and eat items in their deli department? Those famous Edwards Food Giant signature dishes with many of the same entrees and recipes that are served daily in the hot bar, all ready to take home and serve to your family tonight. And it can all be found at your favorite Central Arkansas Edwards Food Giant deli. This week's special is hamburger steak for only $7.49 per pound, paired with mashed potatoes for just $4.49 per pound.
What's good, y'all? Clint Sterner here for Low T Center. Fellas, when it comes to your health, every man should know his testosterone number. What's that mean? It's simple. You need to schedule an appointment at Low T Center immediately. It's quick. It's easy. Hell, it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, get the results in about 25 minutes. So if you've been feeling tired and grumpy, sensing a lack of motivation and drive, dealing with high cholesterol, noticing stubborn weight gain, and or loss of muscle mass, it's on you, fellas. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
We're back here with Wild Bill at Motorsports Authority. Lots of folks talking football, but we're talking great deals, Wild Bill.
All of our customers are a winner right here at Motorsports Authority, folks. We're passing out the lowest prices possible for any vehicle that we got. We're passing out top dollars for the trades. We'll trade for just about anything as long as you don't have to feed it. And I tell you what, folks, we're having a great time right here at Motorsports Authority.
In Russellville on East Main and Hot Springs on Central or online at msastore.com. Get here to Motorsports Authority.
Go Hogs!
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. From Las Vegas, it's week 5 of the NFL season, ending with the matchup of two proud franchises looking for a spark. It's the 1-3 Raiders hosting Jordan Love and the 2-2 Green Bay Packers. Join me and Mike Golick from Las Vegas for all the action of the Packers and the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
There's only one place to stop for the best in meats in Central Arkansas. It's Hoggs Meat Market. Check out their monthly package deals of the best meats online at hogsmeatmarket.com. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
I'm going to stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Yo, remember back on the bully when cats used to harmonize like, yo, my men and my women, don't forget about the dame. Listen out the most the king, yo, it's about a thing, feel real good, wave your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the atmosphere, put them up there, It's been 3 weeks since you were looking for your friend, the one you never hit it and never called you again. Remember when he told you he was about to Benjamins? You act like you ain't him, they give him a little trim to begin. Now you think you really gonna pretend like you wasn't down and you called him again. Plus when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it,
Out of Bounds here on a Reaction Monday, folks, and we know that it is officially truck season with the weather changing, and of course a lot of you are going to be heading out to the woods to go hunting, or maybe it's going to be duck hunting, whatever it is. You're going to need a truck to be able to haul around all of your equipment and get to where you need to be. And with Guadney Chevrolet, they got a great deal going on for you right now. to be a part of truck season and to get a brand new 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab RST for 0% financing. That's APR. And no payments for 90 days. So essentially through the rest of the year, you're not going to have to worry about a single truck payment plus $1,000 cash allowance. That's on brand new Chevy Silverados. Take advantage of it, folks, because this is the type of deal that can change everything when it comes to your hunting season and your hunting life. And what's great about it is it's not just like, oh, okay, well, once hunting season's over, I guess I have no use for a truck anymore. No, you can still use it for all the different things that you do as a family. You got to haul equipment around, haul the kids' gear around when you're going to those sporting events. You can do some tailgating, go some road tripping in the winter, what it is, especially the beach. That's always a good time, too. The truck is all about it with the Chevy Silverado that you need to check out today. And they got plenty of inventory on it with Gwatney Chevrolet. You can also get the Chevy's Equinox 2024, brand new. We're talking about ultra brand new. We're 2.9% APR if you're looking to go with a vehicle like that. But they have all the different vehicles to choose from all the different Chevrolet models. So check them out today at Gwatney Chevrolet at 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville, right off the Gregory Street exit. They're Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer for a reason, folks. You can also shop them online at GwatneyChevrolet.com. No matter what it is when it comes to your vehicle needs, it's always Gwatney Chevrolet. Again, it's Reaction Monday, presented by Fleet Management Services here on Out of Bounds. And been talking about a lot of things happening in the sports world, too. And just as a reminder, tomorrow we are going to be on location. Well, all of our shows are going to be on location as we'll be broadcasting from the Buzz Fall Golf Tournament right here in North Little Rock at Burns Park. Really appreciate Tito's Handmade Vodka, of course, being a great sponsor like they are each and every year. Double B's, Michelob Ultra, Corky's, Sonic, Southern Floor Coating, and Cellular Data Solutions. It's going to be a great time, and we'll be out there live. And, it's going to be really fun, I think, Joe, too, because, we've always broadcasted over at Rebsman, but to have a new course to go from and have probably a lot of the same teams, but a different course. Some of you people out there, it's probably dominated, Rebsman, you're going to have a new course in front of you, which is always great to be a part of the tournament, but also great to have it at a new spot like Burns Park.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. And Burns Park is getting back to getting their golf course together. So they, after the tornado had some trees down and everything, and it'll be exciting to be back on that course now.
Oh yeah. So 8 a.m. flights, and then it's a 1 o'clock flight is the afternoon. I think what's that one? Yeah. Because it starts right when our show starts. So yeah, perfectly timed. But looking forward to getting out there, and with this weather, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I need to check and see what the weather is looking like tomorrow. See if I need to pack pants or if I need to go with the shorts doing the morning flight. 57 degrees at the first flight. So,
perfect.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of things going on in the world of sports, though, but we still have to get to your Razor Hog update presented by True Service. You get to hear from Sam Pittman and some of the players. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Guys, I got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
Hogs by 90!
This is your Razor Hog Update on Out of Bounds, presented by True Service Community Federal Credit Union, where they offer new mortgage loans, refinancing, auto loans, and small business loans. Online at trueservice.net.
All right, so for your Razor Hog update, Sam Pittman met with the media after the game against Ole Miss and had this to say about what the Razorbacks must do offensively.
Offensively, we've got to find a way to run the football. And until we do that, we're putting way too much pressure on our quarterback, our offensive line to protect during those times, and our wideouts to get open. It's hard to win a game when you can't run the football, and we've got to figure out a way to do it. Obviously, we're trying, but what we're doing is not working. So we've got to figure that part of it out, because you can't win. We can't. The way we're built, we can't win games not having success rushing football.
So can KJ Jefferson and other players on the offense improve enough to get the rushing attack going?
He's just like everybody else on the team. He's got to continue to get better as well. I know he played extremely hard, and he certainly, just like everybody on the team, I know it was special for him coming back. wanted to win. But I think he played his heart out. I think if you ask him, he'd probably take a couple, 2 or 3, 4 throws back, but that's part of the game. And I felt like he led extremely well tonight and played very hard.
Also, KJ Jefferson, one of the things that's always been worrisome is about his health. Is he showing some wear and tear with all these games and all these hits he's taking?
To be perfectly honest with you, I think the wear and tear of him getting hit back in the pocket, I think that has wore on him a little bit mentally. And I don't think he's as calm back there in the pocket as what he was a year ago. I don't know that anybody would be as calm back there if you're getting hit, So I think he did the best he could do under the circumstances.
Also, one of the players that stood up big time was Ty Washington, a tight end. We haven't seen it all this year. So how does Sam Pittman and the offense start trying to use those tight ends a lot more?
We were trying to get the ball down the field or outside. We just couldn't do anything, run the ball in the A and B gaps. And we were trying to, what you just alluded to, we were trying to loosen them up a little bit just in case we want to run a draw or something like that, or get the ball out on the edge and play a little bit more 10 personnel as well.
KJ Jefferson also knows that Washington seized his opportunity to get back on the field.
Like I said, opportunity presented itself. He took full advantage of it, and he came through in clutch situations, and we needed that. And he showed up to the plate and showed that he was prepared for this moment, and he took full advantage of it.
No doubt that the Razorbacks are playing hard, but how do they play smarter, according to KJ?
I would say the main thing is just being able to get back to work. I mean, not playing smarter football, not hurting ourselves. We had 10 penalties tonight, and we can't going into playing a team like Ole Miss and here on out SEC teams. I mean, you can't play and have 10 penalties. I mean, that's gonna cost you, and it cost us tonight. And we just gotta be able to play smarter brand of football.
Also, KJ has been asked about the team chemistry. Can they hold it together? Can they keep it together?
Just having faith in each other. I mean, just each and every day at practice and even in the locker room as well. Just making sure we're still bonding together. Make sure we're still having fun. We're still in the moment, and we're still playing. We're still passionate about the sport and this team and the state. So just being able to keep guys amongst each other and not divide and start the blaming game and stuff like that. So just making sure we all stay together and we all in this together.
And also, Dominic Johnson, how do they get going and handle some business?
I don't think it's tough. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep fighting, and find the little details that's holding us back and attack those the right way. And I feel like we'll be in good hands.
Arkansas and Alabama this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Game is at 11 a.m. And it was also announced today that the Arkansas-Mississippi State game in Fayetteville next weekend is at 11 a.m. as well. So
welcome back home. Yeah,
it's going to be breakfast with the Hogs, and hopefully not 2 and 5, but still, it'll be great to have them back home. And because again, we knew that the schedule was coming up. We knew that this was going to be, but seeing it in real action of how long it's been since they've had a home game in the state of Arkansas is truly absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But hopefully the fans show out, and who knows, maybe if they mess around and find a way to win this weekend against Alabama, fans will be out in full force. And I'm betting on it, but it should be interesting to see how it all plays out. But that's your Raise Your Hog update presented by True Service. We're going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have 3 and Out. You won't want to miss that. Is get some headlines, storylines, things we didn't get into. Goes up shop and get you ready for Drive Time Sports. It's all next on Out of Bounds.
Erectile dysfunction is a very serious medical issue. It affects over 60% of men over 45. This can be caused from low testosterone, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate issues, and high cholesterol. The staff at the Little Rock Men's Clinic are specialists in treating these issues. Our medical specialists will determine your specific problem and develop a treatment plan for your specific needs. Our treatments have helped thousands of men with a 96% success rate. Call the Little Rock Men's Clinic at 501-382-9516. Now through October 31st, our office visit is only $79. That includes your exam, blood work, and testos. If our specialist can't prove to you that the treatment works, your office visit is absolutely free.
I am 58 years old. I have more energy, and I am performing like I am 21 again. I feel amazing.
Come to the Little Rock Men's Clinic. We treat low T, ED, Peyronie's disease, and offer a male enhancement procedure. Call the Little Rock Men's Clinic at 501-382-9516. That's 501-382-9516. Or visit littlerockmensclinic.com.
I know the last 3 years, people have got accustomed to paying sticker price for a brand new vehicle. Well, it's not that way anymore at Red River Ram. If you're looking for a new Ram truck, we've got heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks starting at $49,500 or up to $12,000 off sticker price for a Cummins diesel. And we've got $11,000 off Ram 1500 Bighorn four-wheel drive trucks. If you want the best selection and the best buying experience, make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs. Now during Ram Power Days.
Football fans, tailgate season is here, which means it's time to score touchdowns and savings for your vehicle. At All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, we offer incredible deals and service like your daddy used to get, with the financing options that fit your budget. With our team by your side, you'll get MVP service along with the traction and confidence you need to stay on the road. Visit us online today at allabouttireandbrake.com. All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Honey, I have asked you for months to clean out the attic and garage, and it is still not done.
But I don't have a trailer to haul off all this junk.
Just call Mini Bins. They have roll-off dumpsters that will fit right in the driveway, and they will haul it off for a low flat rate. Call them at 501-352-6464 or visit them on the web at minibins.net.
Wow, I had no idea. I'm going to give them a call right now. And you should too. Give Minibins a call today at 501-352-6464 or visit them online at minibins.net.
RJ Hawk here with Chris Roberts from Southern Bank. And Chris, I know interest rates are high right now. That's what everybody's talking about. But if you're thinking about a project, whether it be a commercial project or you want to build a house, now's the time to come talk to you about what those future plans may look like.
You know, RJ, no matter what the business environment may be, we're always there to sit down with our customers and talk about their future plans and what's going on with their businesses.
And that's one thing about Southern Bank is they're a community bank. They want to be your partner.
Partnering with our customers is a key to how we do business.
And Chris, you know, we talk about those interest rates being high, but the one good news out of that is deposit rates.
We have some great CD and checking account rates. Just give us a call and see what one of our personal bankers can do for you.
If you want more information about interest rates or those deposit rates that we just talked about, call Chris and his team today at 501-424-0900 or go online at bankwithsouthern.com. Southern Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
College sports and Parker Cadillac, that's a winning combination. I'm Rachel Parker Harding with Parker Cadillac. Make a grand entrance on game day in a 2024 Cadillac XT4 or XT5. Or load up your family and friends in the third row XT6. Tops in quality and reliability among mid-size premium SUVs. With eye-catching sport trim packages available. Shop now for exceptional savings. Visit parker-cadillac.com.
Make it the event that everyone wants to attend by getting your meat for tailgates, parties, or just family get-togethers at Hoggs Meat Market. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people.
Kane is in the building.
Their time is done. It's over.
Over? Did you say over?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
Call Kenny Loggins because you're in the danger zone. I play real sports. I'm trying to be the best at exercising.
It's time for 3 and Out. It's been 3 hours, and we are...
Boom. Out of here.
All right, it is time for 3 and Out. A few headlines, a few storylines, a few things that we got to dive into. First off, I don't know what was going on with Iowa State over the weekend. I should have asked Freer's leader, Justin Acree, but they had like an inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex that was like life size, inflated and sitting there and just kind of having people, almost puppeteered a little bit during the game. And then also, when that happens, a bunch of little mini Tyrannosaurus Rex in those inflatable costumes run out with the band, and they're all sitting there dancing. I don't really know what was happening, but I'm like, okay, that's cool. If Iowa State, you can't be too successful in football, at least you can have a good time with a bunch of T-Rexes dancing around. Maybe it's a Halloween thing, but we still got a little ways till that. But either way, I still enjoyed it. It was pretty funny. I don't know what was going on, but very entertaining.
Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. He returned to the field, their running back, and he signed a new 3-year, $42 million contract. Now, Zach Moss, who started the game, he had a career day where he had 165 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns. So the joke being there that Jonathan Taylor returns after he got paid. Now Zach Moss looks like he's in line for a contract the way he's been running the ball. But congrats to Jonathan Taylor for getting that new deal that so many running backs over the offseason, they were upset about not getting paid. Zach Taylor gets paid, and he's because the rumors were out there if he was still going to be with the Colts, he was going to get traded. Now he has a new contract in place.
Speaking of getting paid, this is something that doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm sure there's a reason why. But I didn't realize it at the time until I read about it, that the NFL fined Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver for the Bills, $13,659 for unsportsmanlike conduct because of his stone-cold beer-soaked touchdown celebration in last week's blowout win over the Dolphins. That whatever, yeah, it was over the top. But then when the NFL announced also that they had fined Raiders defensive tackle Jerry Tillery for his late hit out of bounds against Justin Herbert that got him ejected last week, they fined him $10,927. So you're telling me that you're going to fine somebody more, $3,000 more roughly, for doing a stone cold beer celebration after a win than somebody who actually could have caused serious harm to a franchise quarterback, knocking him out of bounds and getting ejected from the game? It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the way that was put into place. I'm sure there's a reason why. I get it, but it's still just funny seeing those numbers getting thrown around for considering what the result was of their deeds or their acts on the field or off the field.
Tyreek Hill announced that, and he said he was joking. So this is a follow-up, but he was on Twitch with Bucs receiver Mike Evans, and he said after his football career was over, he wanted to stay busy. So he said he'd like to do something in the adult industry. Well, since making that statement, now there are companies within the adult industry that have been reaching out to Tyreek Hill. So he followed it up. He said, I was joking. I was definitely joking. That's something I just don't want to do. But one of the companies that reached out to him said, we have several talented ladies that would like to work with you whenever you're ready.
I feel like there's always a certain number that can get thrown around too, pricing wise, that may have them trying to consider it a little bit more if it gets to that point. Really impressive stuff here by Iowa. We talk about Iowa State. How about Iowa, who was able to take care of business and win a big game in conference over Purdue? Well, what makes it impressive is not only was it the 307th game as the head coach of Iowa for Kirk Ferentz, but it was the first game with him as a head coach where there was not a single completion to a wide receiver. So I know you think about that and you're like, oh, they won. It's all good. Right. But just think about the absurdity of that in the modern college football game, especially Power 5, where there was an entire game played and a win without a single completion to a wide receiver. That offense, man, is quite something. But I love little nuggets and little stats like that. But kudos to them finding a way to win, even though their wide receivers that they have on scholarship were pretty much just hanging out there and blocking all day long.
Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts has listed his mansion for $9.67 million, and it is sitting on 52 acres of land, 10,000 square foot Gothic-style home. It also has a recording studio, which was a 2,000 square foot guest home at one time, but he converted it into the recording studio, and that also has all the amenities of just a regular size home with so many, it has a kitchen, bathroom, so many rooms in it. You could use it as the recording studio, which would be probably nostalgic because of the fact that he converted it to that, and he's part of history with the Rolling Stones, or you could turn it back into the typical guest house, which it is able to accommodate.
So in the Orioles game over the weekend, anytime there's a participant on the field, it's always really dumb. But this time with the Orioles, they had, if you want to call him a streaker, participant, however you want to do it, man ran out into the field, got tackled and lit up pretty good. But usually, something like this happens is just a drunk idiot, or sometimes it's someone with some sort of cause, or maybe it's a little bit of both. Either way, the man that got tackled just ran out there in a Speedo where the Speedo read "Virginity Rocks." And then he got rocked. And what was crazy about it, well, not crazy, but still interesting, is about after the game, he was released back into the wild and back into the crowd, and he was walking around outside the stadium with his Speedo real rocking it out. So he definitely got his point across, whatever it was, but still weird to see that was the reason why, or that was the thing that somebody would streak on the field with, especially with that written on their Speedo.
Ray Romano, in the same sense as Coach Prime, he said he ranks his kids. He has 4 kids, and he said that 1 and 3 have changed spots. And he said the one that is considered number 4 probably will be number 4 for a while and probably won't move up the ranks, because he said number 4, he's just horrible. So that's where he's going to stay. He's not going anywhere. But I thought it was locked in. Well, 1 and 3 have definitely flipped spots for a number of reasons.
This one's for you, Rebecca. There's a conspiracy theory going around, and I don't even think it's a conspiracy theory because it's been going around, I feel like, since the beginning. But that's what's going on between the NFL and the Chiefs are thanks to the Taylor Swift angle and where they're getting protected a little bit. Some referred to the pass interference call in yesterday's game against the Vikings that they felt like was a little bit suspect, or should have been called. Also, how about this in the game yesterday where L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback for the Chiefs, took his helmet off on the field and was just told by the refs to put the helmet back on instead of getting penalized. And then also the official NFL Instagram account says Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties. That's in their bio. So there's a conspiracy out there that the NFL is going to do whatever they can to protect the Chiefs this year because of this Taylor Swift angle, and people are starting to add it up into the mix. I don't think it's actually true, but it is kind of funny to think that there are people out there that actually think it's real.
Will Ferrell showed up at a frat house on Saturday night after USC beat Arizona in the third overtime. Showed up at a frat house, and not only did he party with them, but he actually DJ'd. So they were excited to have Will Ferrell as a part of the frat party that was going on.
If he didn't say I'm going streaking like he did in Old School in that movie, then it wasn't even worth it. But so Kai Jones of the Charlotte Hornets is getting the situation with him has been pretty weird, but it's even weirder as he's publicly demanded a trade from the team on Twitter, or formerly known as X. So he's just simply said, quote, I have officially requested to be traded from the Charlotte Hornets, #GoatLife. So I guess there's a lot of different ways to do it, and that's one way to do it. Also, I was going to mention this Jimmy Fallon story, but I'm going to wait till that one because that one's pretty weird. But still, we'll have plenty of time. Yeah, it's Jimmy Fallon, and anytime it's Jimmy Fallon, it's always really weird. But we'll save it for tomorrow. But appreciate everybody listening in Out of Bounds today. For Joe Franklin, I'm John Nabors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow afternoon. Live from the Buzz Fall Golf Tournament there at Burns Park. Come on out and see us. But stay tuned right now, folks, because we got Drive Time Sports coming up next.
Fellas, Clint Sterner here.